You can measure the size of an elephant. You can clock the speed of a cheetah, but you can't quantify the heart of a kings, queens, and in-betweens. Welcome to Dr. Boxing Talk. Stream starts now.
The champ is here! 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 The champ is here!
If I tell you I'm good, probably you will say I'm boasting. But if I tell you I'm no good, you know I'm lying.
Yo, 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 what it do, what it do? What it do, what it do? Good, great, grand morning to y'all, man. Brethren and sistren, boys and girls, ladies and lads, amigos, mi amigas, men and women, kings and queens and everything in between. Y'all know what time it is. The doctor's in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We are here. We are here for this great, wonderful. What's this, Thursday? It's Thursday? No shot. It's Thursday already, bro. Dog, where does time be going? I don't be understanding where time goes. It just be going. I don't even know where that thing go, boy. That junk is crazy, man. How's it? I feel like it was just a weekend 2 days ago. I would have thought today was, man, if I didn't think about it, I would, like, you could have told me it was Tuesday. I would have believed you. Hey, man, chase your dreams, because you never know. You never know. You might, you might strike gold, you know what I'm saying? And if not, at least you're trying. So chase your dreams, man. Let's go ahead and start off with our prayers. We usually do. Please join me and bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for waking us up to see this bright and this beautiful Thursday. You know, we ask that you protect us into the week, and we, as we finish off the week, and we thank you for protecting us so far for over half the time span of the week, Lord. We ask you that you lead us into this weekend with a grateful spirit, a patient spirit, and a loving spirit, Lord. And let us be that light that we want to see. And continue to bless us, Lord, not just with physical health, but financial health as well, emotional health, mental health, and spiritual health, and most importantly. And let us not be scared or afraid of the forks in the roads, or anytime we run into a crossroad, or overthink what choice we should make. Just step forward with faith, you know, and sometimes the scariest step is the first step. But then once we take that step of faith, that leap of faith, you never know where we might get. And usually it leads to prosperity as long as we put our faith in you and our trust in you and our mind on you. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen, amen, amen. And also too, man, we have some unfortunate news in the boxing world, man. I'm not too familiar with this young lady, but I did see the sad news, man, and it's unfortunate. She is a boxer, so we know we got to do our boxing ting and give her the proper send-off, man. It was young Georgia, man, young Georgia O'Connor, only 25 years old, passed away yesterday. Yeah, and lost her battle with cancer, man. 25 years old. So once again, you just always chase your dreams. You just never know. Tomorrow's not promised, you know. So we just do our best with what we got and what we could work with. And shout out to her for I'm assuming she lived a full life, man. But most importantly, condolences to her family and her loved ones. You know, we might just know her as a boxer, but there's somebody's daughter, somebody's niece, somebody's sister, somebody's granddaughter, somebody's friend. You know what I'm saying? So rest in peace to that person and condolences to her family. So let's go ahead and give her her proper 10 count that she deserves. And yeah, send her off. Please bow your heads. Once again, that's rest in peace to Miss Georgia O'Connor. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to Georgia O'Connor, man. That's sad. 25 years old. Geez, I'm peace. Let's be real. What's good? So, man, so let's get right to it, man. So I've been seeing some news. You know, Angelo Leo, who's a 126-pound champion, featherweight champion, that is, for the IBF. He'll be defending his title against Tomoki Kameda. Tomoki Kameda is his IBF mandatory. Shout out to him for fighting his mandatory and do what responsible champions do. You know, and shout out to the IBF for giving lesser known fighters an opportunity to fight for a title, regardless of popularity, right? So he's going to Japan to fight, even though he's a champion. He's going to Japan because, like I said, Japan is a hotbed for smaller weight divisions, right? Just like England is a hotbed for a lot of boxing, but there's a hotbed for the women's division in particular, right? With Clarissa Shields fighting Savannah Marshall in the O2 Arena in England. You know, in the majority of the fights for the little guys or the smaller guys, no disrespect, smaller guys, you know, I say 126 and down. I'd probably say, yeah, 122 and down, but it's 126 and down too. Is mostly in Japan, because Japan is where they appreciate the smaller weight divisions the most. You know, sometimes Australia as well and other places, but mostly in Japan. So Tomoki Kameda, and then like the bigger fights, you know, heavyweights usually in, or even middleweights or welterweights usually in Vegas. You know, sometimes you'll have a big fight in England as well. And of course, Riyadh is trying to be the hotbed and the mecca of boxing, but you know, typically it's Vegas, right? But anyway, Angelo Leo's fighting Tomoki Kameda. Even though he's a champion, the American champion, he'll be fighting Tomoki Kameda in Japan, right? Just like Brian Norman, who's a 147-pound welterweight champion for the WBO. He's fighting Jin Sasaki, the challenger in Japan, just to boost his profile. I always think it's good to expand your horizons and give other opportunities for you to be seen, you know, give other people in other regions opportunities to see you. So I think that this is always a good look. But Angelo Leo fighting Tomoki Kameda, he said that not only is he worried about, you know, going to where the economy is better for the smaller weights, but he's also in hopes of landing Naoya Inoue, the monster, right? Because Naoya Inoue is the cash cow at 126 pounds, 122 pounds, 118 pounds, 115 pounds. Everybody, those weight classes want to fight Naoya. They want to fight Naoya Inoue, you know, and so he's hoping that, number one, he beats Kameda and successfully defends his title, because this is his first defense since beating El Venado Lopez, right? Luis Lopez by destruction, right? He oh my goodness, that was fight of the year. I mean, knockout of the year candidate. And yeah, so this will be his first title defense, so he's hoping to win that, but he's also hoping to catch the attention of Naoya Inoue, because, you know, Naoya Inoue has expressed the interest in going to 126-pound division, right? Because he conquered 122, phenomenal fighter. He's been flirting with going to 126, particularly to fight Nick Ball. And I think that Nick Ball is the appropriate target. You know, Nick Ball is the he's a WBA champion for 126. I think that is the most appropriate target, because as far as stature goes, you know, they're most comparable, right? The WBO champion El Divino Rafael Espinosa is freaking 6'5". No, he's not 6'5". He's 6'1", but still he's huge, right? Like an NBA player. And then you got Stephen Fulton, WBC. He already beat him. That'd be cool to rematch that. But then Stephen Fulton is talking about potentially going to fight Oshiki Foster at 130. So we're not sure how long he's gonna stay at 126. And then the IBF champion Angelo Leo, you know, like I said, Tomoki Kameda, he's occupied fighting his mandatory. And then Nick Ball with the WBA. So he's been targeting Nick Ball, the closest in stature. But I think Angelo Leo is a viable option too, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because of another guy we just mentioned, Stephen Fulton. Angelo Leo has one loss, right? Well, that one loss came to Stephen Fulton, and we saw what happened with Naya Inoue and Stephen Fulton fought, albeit at a different weight class, you know. And we know triangle theories don't always work, but I think people over exaggerate how often they do not work, right? So because I'm sorry, but Naya Inoue beating Stephen Fulton and Stephen Fulton beating Angelo Leo, I'm pretty sure, given who Naya Inoue is, that a lot of us would think that he would also beat Angelo Leo, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's kind of common sense. That doesn't mean it's going to happen definitively, but I do think that it means that it's a better chance that it happens that Inoue wins than it doesn't happen that Angelo Leo, you know, than it happens that Angelo Leo wins. Now, there's a significant circumstance that we have to account for as well, and that's moving up a weight. We don't know how Naya Inoue will be able to handle 126, and that makes a big difference too. And we saw that Ramon Cardenas dropped him, and we saw Luis Nery dropped him. So I think it's safe to say that he is susceptible to being dropped by the 126-pound champions as well. But that still doesn't mean that he'll lose, because, you know, he overcame those droppings, right? Albeit against lesser caliber opponents. So I think Angelo Leo versus Naya Inoue is a good fight, assuming Angelo Leo wins, and I would favor Naya Inoue. I mean, and just even with Mario Barrios, right? Mario Barrios is about to fight Pacquiao. A lot of people are like, man, you know, you have the age factor of Pacquiao, but Pacquiao could come back and win. Like Sugar Ray Leonard came out and said that Pacquiao can win, which is not really saying much, because we already know he can win. We know these things can happen, but which one will you put your money on? You know what I'm saying? Which one do you think will happen? Like, it's like when I say, oh yeah, I think Terrence Crawford can beat Canelo, but I think that Canelo's going to win. You know, but I think sometimes people have egos. They don't want to pick the wrong person. Maybe because they know them personally, but also because they don't want to be wrong. You know, they don't want to be like, oh yeah, well, I picked this person. You picked this person. You were wrong. They want to look like experts. So they try to strategically say things. But I will tell you who I think can win, of course. But I will tell you who I think will win. I think Canelo beats Bud, but of course Bud can win. I think Barrios beats Pacquiao, even though Pacquiao can win. You know, so those are different things. You know, these are great fighters. So Manny Pacquiao is coming back at 46 years old. And I think the chance of him being the current champion of Mario Barrios is very slim. But my point of saying that was to double back was that 4 years ago, Pacquiao lost, right? That was the last time we saw Pacquiao, and he lost to Ugas. Well, Barrios beat Ugas. And I think if you don't consider that because you don't believe in triangle theories, I think you'll be a fool, because that's when you should apply it, right? Not saying apply it like it's going to work, but I'm saying that's something to factor in. Yeah, common opponent, or, you know what I'm saying? So how you perform against a common opponent, I think that's important, you know. But so last time we saw Manny Pacquiao was in 2021 against Yordenis Ugas, and he lost to Yordenis Ugas. And we saw him eating out of a soup bowl with his wifey, Jinky Pacquiao, right? And Mario Barrios beat that same Yordenis Ugas pretty convincingly, right? So I think you'll be a fool to just disregard that because you don't believe in a triangle theory. Like, if you look at boxing, I'm telling you, more often than not, the triangle theories work. It's just that it's not 100%. You know, just because A beats B and B beats C doesn't necessarily mean that A will also beat C. But please believe that the majority of the time, A also beats C, especially if they beat B bad. You see what I'm saying? And B beats C. So, you know, I think it's still interesting, but I think that with Stephen Fulton beating Angelo Leo and Naya Inoue beating Stephen Fulton badly, I think that it's safe to say that Naya Inoue has a good chance to beat Angelo Leo. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Cito. What's good, bro? What's good, my brother? Yeah, anything can happen in boxing. Yep, a good example of turkey competitive matches that lead to unexpected upsets for boxing fans. Yeah, facts, legacy, exactly. Anything is possible, but Father Time doesn't forgive. Boxing's young man's game. Gotta accept it. Yeah, exactly. And but listen, I will say this though. You know, if you look at the super chats, the graffiti on the chat walls, look what I put there today. You know, it's like, you know, people are there to critique you, you know, and as much as that sounds crazy, some people live their life to just talk about others, man, because they're not doing much. And that's just the truth of life, you know. So people are looking to point at you when you fail. They look at you to laugh and say your dreams are unrealistic, you know, but then you do it and then they're like, oh, okay, bet. They don't say they're wrong. They just wait for you to do or try something else so they can doubt you again, you know, because it's easy to doubt, because a lot of times the doubt comes from insecurity and their own failures, you know, and fear of losing themselves. And that's why they don't try anything. You know, I'd rather try something and lose than never try at all. because you still don't win. But at least when you lose, you kind of knew that you at least try and gave it your best effort. And that right there is something you can hang your hat on. I'm not saying give a participation trophy. What I'm saying is be brave, be courageous, be faithful. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, of course, I don't think Pacquiao could win. But I also salute Pacquiao as opposed to saying, "Oh man, he's a dummy and he's broke and all this other stuff." And maybe he is, you know, but maybe he just likes fighting. And if he wins, then that guy that was a dummy suddenly becomes the genius. You know what I'm saying? Because people were also saying that George Foreman at 45, rest in peace to him, he won to beat Michael Moore. And when Bernard Hopkins came back at 46 and beat that record, they were saying the same thing. Now Pacquiao's in that same position. Do I think Pacquiao's going to win? No, because George Foreman and it's a little different situation. I mean, it's still, but it's essentially the same thing, you know. And B-Hop has a style that wasn't predicated off of explosion and athleticism. Of course, he was athletic and slick, but it wasn't like he was jumping around from side to side, you know, so using his agility to be the faster guy in the ring. He was usually the more cerebral guy in the ring. He was a more defensive guy in the ring. He was a slicker guy, more elusive guy in the ring. Pacquiao's not known for his defense. In fact, his trainer's not known for his defense either, Freddie Roach. He's known to be an offensive guy. So that's why I say it's slightly different, because Pacquiao, I would compare him to an athletic, like, let's say basketball, right? We like basketball. Pacquiao likes basketball. I make this correlation all the time. Pacquiao would be more like a Russell Westbrook, right? And a style of play. Russell Westbrook's still playing for a long time. He's doing good, but he's not as explosive as he was before when he was younger, right? Because his game was and D Rose too. Their games are predicated off of athleticism and explosion. And as you get older, what goes faster? What goes first? Your reaction time, your explosiveness, your stamina, and your athleticism. That's what Pacquiao's game is predicated off of. Yes, he has power, but he also has explosion through his legs. He was also very mobile, the most agile guy, the most active guy. He would throw punches in bunches, right? And he would just overwhelm you with his sheer activity. Well, that's going to decrease as you get older. You know what I'm saying? His ability to deliver, his mechanisms to deliver that power and those punches and bunches, those are going to slow down. So when you're that type of fighter, I think that it's harder to fight later on in your career as time progresses. Now, when you're like a B-Hop was more of a slick, calculated style. It's more of a finesse game. I would compare that to like a Steph Curry or a Reggie Miller or a Ray Allen, where their game is predicated off their jump shot. Your jump shot could be smooth forever. You could be 65 years old and have a smooth jump shot. You see what I'm saying? As long as you get open, you see? So as long as B-Hop can control the pace of the game and he's not being overwhelmed like he was by Joe Smith Jr. and his ass ended up out the ring. You know what I'm saying? So when you're not or by Joe Calzaghe, then you can control the pace like B-Hop did against Kelly Pavlik. You can control the pace against John Pascal like B-Hop did. So when you're allowed to control the pace and think, then it's a little bit more conducive for you to be successful even at an older age. Pacquiao's game is predicated off athleticism. So that's why I think Barrios is the bigger, stronger, younger guy, is going to be very successful against him. How successful is he going to knock him out and stop him? I don't know. You know, I would assume that somewhere down there in his being, he has a respect and reverence for Pacquiao. Would that show up with him not going as hard on Pacquiao, or is he going to use that as fuel to not take it easy on Pacquiao? You know, because there's different types of people, right? Like when you idolize some people, you be like, okay, bet, you know, I don't want to embarrass my idol. I look up to him. But at the same time, there's other people that be like, okay, bet, out of respect for my idol, I'm going to fight as hard as I can because I know that's what they would want from me. They wouldn't want me to give them anything. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't want me to feel like, they wouldn't want me to take it easy on them. You know what I'm saying? Show like mercy like that. It's a sign of disrespect. So it depends on how he approaches it. You know, we'll see. But I definitely think Barrios can stop Pacquiao for sure. Shout out to Team Slime. What's good, brethren? Shout out to Dooley in the building. What's good? Shout out to Pugilism in the building. He said B-Hop boxing NBA styles like Pacers, Davis Bros, or Ben Wallace. Hey, talk to him, facts. Inside dirty work. Yeah, B-Hop like Robin. I like that. Pac-Man like Bugsy Bowes. Yeah, facts. Or Spud Webb, right? Yeah, I like that. I like that comparison. Shout out to you, my boy Pugilism. But yeah, so yeah, I said all that to say that we'll see if Angelo Leo can get the attention of Dai Inoue, because Dai Inoue has laid out his next three fights, right? He said it's going to be MJ Ahmadaliv in September, good Lord willing. That's the guy that deserves the fight the longest. He's been deserving it for the last 2 years, WBA mandatory, right? MJ Ahmadaliv, who's now the WBA interim champion after beating Espinosa, right? So he's going to fight MJ Ahmadaliv in September. Then he said he's going to fight Nick Ball in December. And then he said he's going to fight Juto Nakatani in 2026. Things could change. What if Nick Ball has a fight in the interim and he loses? You know what I'm saying? What if MJ Ahmadaliv beats Dai Inoue? What if What if Junto Nakatani loses to Ryosuke Nishida for his unification fight at 118 between the WBC champion at Junto Nakatani and the IBF champion Ryosuke Nishida? You know what I'm saying? So things aren't just a given in boxing as much as we like to think that they are. They're not. I mean, look how many times we had the Kobe and LeBron, rest in peace to Kobe Bryant. Look how many times we had the Kobe and LeBron commercials about them meeting up in the finals. Did they ever play in the finals? I think the answer would be a fat ass emphatic no. You see what I'm saying? So just because we think something's going to happen on paper or in our minds, they still have to fight in the ring. They still have to play on the court. That's why you got to respect the game. You never know. Naoya Inoue could mess around and lose to MJ Madaliev. Nick Ball could mess around and lose his title. So there's no more Naoya Inoue. If Naoya Inoue beats MJ Madaliev, Nick Ball could mess around and lose his next fight. Junto Nakatani could mess around and lose his next fight against Ryosuke Nishida for unification. Now we might be talking about Naoya Inoue versus Ryosuke Nishida because we'll think that he's the best at 118 as opposed to Junto Nakatani. So you just never know, man. But right now, the plan is, tentatively, I would say, is MJ Madaliev in September, Nick Ball in December, good Lord willing, and then Junto Nakatani next year. But, you know, shout out to Angelo Leo. He could spoil those plans. He could beat Kameda and Nick Ball could lose or something like that. And then maybe focus on Angelo Leo. Or maybe he'll go as Nick Inoue will change his mind from going to 126 at all. Or maybe he'll go focus on Shushu Carrington. Or maybe he'll go target the other top rank guy. You know, he's affiliated with Top Rank. Espinosa's is at Top Rank and he's a 126-pound champion. WBO. Maybe he focuses on Espinosa. That'd be a hell of a feat because I think Espinosa's the best at featherweight. But, you know, the rumors talk about Espinosa going to 130 imminently. We never know how that goes, man. But yeah, man, shout out to Angelo Leo fighting Tomoki Kameda. We will be live for that fight, good Lord willing, and that's in this weekend. So let's check. We'll be live for that in Japan at 4 o'clock in the morning while you're yawning. So be up, because we will, you know. Shout out to them. And then next up, man, we were just talking about Liam Parle, man. I was just talking about Liam Parle. Oster in the building. Hey, big member in the building. Good morning, my brother. I was just talking. I can't stand this man, Big Dog Willie, man. Shout out to Big Dog. Hey, Big Dog Willie, you know what's up? Hey, man, I'm going to give you your props, man. I'm going to give you your credit, man, and your respect, man. Shout out to Big Dog Willie, man. This is what I talk about a good troll, man. So all you trolls out there, learn from Big Dog Willie, man. Big Dog Willie is trolling and supporting. Big Dog Willie is hating in all in good fun. You know what I'm saying? Big Dog Willie's not making a butthole of himself. He's not being racist. He's not being hateful. Well, I just say he's hating, but I mean, I'm saying like hateful in a playful man. Like he's hating. Like, you know, you hating on somebody. And I'm not saying that he's hateful. He's not hateful. He's not a nuisance. He's not trying to be disruptive. Well, he is being disruptive, but, you know, in a funny way, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Big Dog Willie. And he's a dope person. And he has his own opinion. Shout out to my boy, Big Dog Willie. He dropped that graffiti on the chat walls with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Like I said, Big Dog Willie's just a pleasure to have in the stream, man. You know, and me and him don't agree on nothing. But I ain't gonna say we don't agree on nothing, but we don't agree on Tank and Shakur. But he's a pleasure to have in the stream, man. Shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie, man. Big member in the building. He said Jake Paul versus Tank, November 22nd, 2025. Factual, actual facts. Shut your ass up. Nah, shout out to my boy, Big Dog Willie, man. Hey, man, like I say, Tank, he on his own with that one, man. I'm not worried about, it's an exhibition, so I'm not worried about the loss, but, man, I am worried about the focus, man. And if you're not focused against some dogs, there's some dogs at 135. So I feel like if you're not focused, I stay away from them. But if you are focused, then go fight them. But it's kind of hard for me to imagine that you could be focused while fighting exhibitions. So shout out to my guy, Big Dog Willie. Shout out to my boy, Oster in the building. Big member in the building. Shout out to my boy, Dub. For you, Jay McCullough in the building. Big member in the building. Chat family salute. Yes, sir. Salutations, my brother. And I hope everything's well with you and your brother. You know what I'm saying? Your brother-in-law that passed away, man. Shout out to you and your family. You know, your immediate family, man. Rest in peace to your brother. But yeah, man. So, this man, Big Dog Willie, man, hating on my boy Tank, man. Let me put my GTD chain out, man. My boy finna get a little froggy. I feel like he finna jump. You know, my boy a little froggy, so I feel like he might jump. You know, let me pull out my GTD chain because he wilding in the chat, in this chat streets, man. Shout out to my boy Gervonta Tank Davis, man. Either way, if he fight Jake Paul, any one of them all. He could fight Jake Paul, he could fight them all. They gonna fall. You know what I'm talking about? They gonna fall. Shout out to my boy Oscar in the building. Big member in the building. They gonna fall, bro. Shout out to Gervonta Tank Davis. But in other news, we were just talking about this guy yesterday. Liam Paro, man. Liam Paro, man. I'm so mad at myself because Liam Paro would have won me a bag. I should have put money on it. I don't really bet often. I like to make predictions, but I don't really bet all the time. I did bet money on Ryan Garcia to beat Devin Haney. I got me some money on that one. That's probably the last big one I got money on. I should have bet money on Dubois versus AJ. Got that one right. Should have bet money on Bacoli and Jared Big Baby Anderson. And I should have bet money on Liam Paro. Everybody thought I was a damn fool for saying Liam Paro would go from Australia, from down under to Puerto Rico and take the boogeyman's belt, right? Subaru Matias, and he did that. That's one of my regrets from that I didn't bet on that money. I don't really regret much as far as betting money because like I don't really bet, but I do wish I would have bet money on that one, man, because I was doubting myself. People were doubting me so hard. I was doubting myself. You never doubt yourself, chat. Always be 10 toes down. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy 2-4 in the building. He said, Team Slime says, fighting an exhibition in the middle of your career as the champion is disgusting. Nasty work. Jake Paul at 5. Exhibition, prohibition. Jake Paul at 5. Exhibition, inhibition, prohibition. Jake Paul at 5. That's crazy. I do agree it's nasty. As much as I like Tank, I think that's whack. I don't like it, but at the same time, like I said, it's exhibition. It's his career. He's throwing punches, getting punched on. I ain't got to like it, and I'm going to voice my opinion, you know what I'm saying, whether you're my favorite fighter or not. I think that's whack. I'm be honest with you. I think that at this point, not saying that an exhibition, you know, he's with the WBA champ. I'm not saying that they should force him to give up the belt, but if you're fighting exhibitions and it's getting in the way of fighting other champions, like, for example, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying that, oh, just because they want to fight you. I'm saying that if you fight, let's say he fights Lamont Roach and he wins, right? He's still the champion. Let's say if there's another fight, like a mandatory there, and the mandatory has to wait because of an exhibition, my favorite fighter or not, you need to get stripped. It is what it is. You can't be holding up stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because you're fighting nonsensical BS circus fights against Jake Paul at a catch weight of 195 pounds. You fight at 135. Now, if Shakur has a fight and Keyshawn has a fight and is mandatory and he has no mandatory, boom, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But if it gets in the way of the natural flow of things, then I think you should be stripped. It is what it is. I can't even cap on that. Take is a GOAT. Well, I'm looking at rematch like BS fight. I only mess with Tank because Tank fans get big. Hey, facts. Do your thing. I honestly don't care about the Jake Paul fight, but I do care about pissing off Tank fans. No, I care about the Jake. I consider myself a Tank fan, but I'm not just ridiculous like them, but or like any other fan. You know, I'm not ridiculous like any of I'm not like a Now Inoue fans or Jake Paul fans or Apataya fans or Ryan Garcia or Devin Haney fans. I'm not ridiculous like that. I'm not fanatic about any of these fighters, but I do like some fighters more. And I'm not a Canelo fan like that, but I'm a fan of all these guys. I'm a fan of the sport. You feel me? So yeah, I think that I think if you fight, do your thing, exhibitions, you know, but that should be treated like anything else. And if that's in the way of you executing your duties as a champion, then I think that the proper protocol should be followed. And I think, but will he get stripped? No. I mean, it's not just for Tank either, though. We see fighters not do what they're quote unquote supposed to do and they don't get stripped. Now, Inoue's an example. Canelo's an example. You know, there's people that are examples, but what you can't say about Tank and Canelo is that they've been ordered to fight and they didn't fight. That's just not Inoue so far. So, you know, so they haven't been ordered to fight, but if they are ordered to fight, then I think that the proper thing should happen. And that would be to get my boy stripped, even though that sucks. But yeah, you can't be holding up like that. But anyway, Ulster said something that we're going to double back on later. But yeah, shout out to Liam Paro, man. We were talking about Liam Paro yesterday, and I think Irony asked me if there's any news about Liam Paro, and I told him no. Well, that changed this morning, just like that, quick, fast, in a hurry, right? Liam Paro will be having his homecoming return to Australia against Jonathan Navarro, man, on June 25th. So that's good news, man. That's good news. We could get Liam Paro back. I think that's fire because like I said, we haven't seen him in a while, and I was just talking about yesterday that I think he can be able. I think that he's able to come back and be a champion again. I do at 140, man. I 140, like I said, 140 moves champions like hotcakes. You know what I'm saying? It's just flipping champions like hotcakes. You know, like Teofimo has been the longest reigning champion, right? And then Alberto Puello successfully defended against Sandor Martin, but you know, for the WBA belt, Gary Anto Russell just beat Jose Rayo Valenzuela, the Lightning, right? Rayo. And then Rayo before that beat, how did he get the title? Who did he beat? Who did Rayo beat again? Pitbull, right? And before Pitbull beat, who did he beat? Rolly Romero. You know what I'm saying? And then so that's the WBA. And then what's the other one? The IBF, right? We seen Richard Sanchez beat Liam Paro. Liam Paro beat Subriel Matias. So the belts are moving, right? So I think that if Liam Paro was able to beat Subriel Matias, why can't he beat Richard Sanchez in a rematch? I don't think he can stylistically, but that's a possibility, right? Why couldn't he possibly beat Gary Anton Russell? I don't think he does beat him either, but that's a possibility, right? Why can't he beat Teofimo Lopez? Teofimo Lopez lost to George Kambosos. I think Liam Paro beats George Kambosos. I think Liam Paro beats the hell out of George Kambosos. So you know what I'm saying? Teofimo also struggled with Sandor Martin, just like Alberto Puello did. Santo Martin's good. I think him and Liam Paro is a good fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Paro beats him. So it's wide open. You know what I'm saying? I think Liam Paro would beat Jack Catterall. Jack Catterall was close to having a title shot. He just came up short against Arnold Barbosa, right? And that would have been Catterall versus Teofimo. And I think that Catterall could have possibly beat Teofimo. But Teofimo, I would lean towards Teofimo being the favorite. But I think Catterall stylistically is a good chance, right? Because he's a boxer. That's who Teo struggles with. So Liam Paro, I think it is wide open. And I love to see him bounce back. He's fighting Jonathan Navarro. Jonathan Navarro is a pretty good fighter. He only has one loss. He's 18-1. Has he fought anybody that has any real big credibility? No, but he's still a dangerous fighter. You know what I'm saying? He has a 50% KO ratio. And this is a good fight for him to have a homecoming. Now, I will say this, so shout out to him for finally getting a homecoming. I said this during the time, right? I saluted Liam Paro for taking the mandatory guy in Richardson Hitchens as his voluntary defense. We got to salute that, respect that, even though he lost. But I said that, man, I think this is foolish. I don't think it's foolish from a boxing fan standpoint of view, but I think he should be able to get a freaking homecoming fight, instead of fighting in Puerto Rico again, back to back. He fought in Puerto Rico like he's from Puerto Rico. He fought in Puerto Rico to take the title. Then when his first title defense against Richard Sanchez was also in Puerto Rico, I thought it would have been appropriate for him to have his first title defense in Australia, but they didn't do it, and he ended up losing. So that's tough, But of course, Eddie Hearn, due to the fact that Subriel Matias did get upset by Liam Paro, they were saying that in the streets that he had an obligation to have back-to-back fights in Puerto Rico. That's why he had it there. So I feel like Liam Paro, that's why you got to have a good team, because even though Liam Paro is a warrior and he wants to fight anybody, that's when your team steps in and be like, hold on, bro. Why don't you just take an easy fight? You just fought Subriel Matias, take an easy fight. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, take an easy fight and go to Australia and have a fight, homecoming, and get your proper celebration. Or if you are going to fight Richard Hitchens, try to get it in Australia, but they didn't do that. But anyway, it's not the end of the road, but it's just an example of, a fighter and his team not looking out for their best interest, my personal opinion. But shout out to Liam Paro though, man. Like I said, I salute him for taking that voluntary defense as a mandatory guy. He just fell short, but he did show me that. That's why I like him. It reminded me why I liked him. Even though he came short, I'm still looking forward for Liam Paro to come back. And shout out to my guy Tufo. He said Liam Paro gets dog walked by Gary Anton Russell. Yeah, I agree. I kind of agree. I got Gary Anton Russell beat Liam Paro as well. Yeah, Pitbull. Thank you, Tufo. Pitbull. Yep. But yeah, man. So Liam Paro will be fighting June 25th. I'm excited for that against Jonathan Navarro. I'm looking forward to that fight, man. I believe Liam Paro could bounce back and make some noise in the junior welterweight division, 140. How can he bounce back and be a champion? It's yet to be seen, but I'm willing to watch and I'm excited to watch and see how it goes, man. Shout out to Liam Paro. We shall see. Shout out to my boy Big Dog Willie dropping the graffiti on the chat walls with that bread, that cheese, that butter. Yes, sir. He said, if you spread Tank versus Jake Paul propaganda to pro talk, hold on. He said, if you spread Tank versus Jake Paul propaganda to a pro Tank channel, I will pay you $10 a week. Yes, I am petty, but Tank Maniacs deserve it. So wait, so you want me to go around and is this for everybody or for me? I ain't gonna do that, man. I don't really be looking for the mess like that, bro. But that's funny though. Hey, you let me know who the target is. I might consider it. You feel me? But yeah, I just think that I think we gotta have a sense of humor, man. It's not that serious, Now, if you're getting paid by Tank somehow, like, some people actually have like relationships with these fighters and these fighters teams, and it's beneficial for them to talk on behalf of the fighters. Maybe I'm not in that position, so I haven't been approached by anybody like that. So, if that's what it is, that's what it is. I ain't judging nobody, but sometimes people they act like, I don't know, man. So sometimes I think that they live vicariously through the fighters themselves, and they think that they're the fighters, man. And bitch, you better be able to fight, because you talk to me crazy, you might have a fight on your hands, and you better go hope that you could call up Tank, because I've seen what you look like. You know what I'm talking about? I see what some of these content creators look like. You better have Tank on speed dial, because you're going to be in trouble. Talking to me crazy. That's why I just stay out the mess, man, because people, they be taking it too seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong, I like to discuss boxing too, but they be acting like they gonna do something to somebody. But then again, people know who they can talk to in certain ways too. So probably the best bet at 140 is the winner of PACQUIAO versus Matias. I agree with that, Tufo. I agree with that, Tufo. I agree with that 1,000%. I think that his best bet is the winner of PACQUIAO Matias. However, I think he could beat. I would like to see him and Teofimo as well. But I think his best bet, I agree, is the winner of PACQUIAO Matias. But I don't think it's crazy that he beats Teofimo. I think that's a good fight. I don't think that it's. I do agree with you stylistically. I think Gary Antoroso beats Liam Paul, but I'd be interested in that dude. Ain't no giving. You feel me? Who else is a champion? Gary Antoroso, Alberto Puello, Teofimo, and Gary Antoroso. Yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Liam Paul bouncing back, man. Keyshawn beats Matias next. The rest of the pool will even be more strict to challenge. We'll see, man. We'll see. He said none of that shit is happening. Pacquiao done. I think because all these fights he has to take care of, he can't duck no more. Damn, Abdullah Mason will fight him. Sit there for another year or two. I'm telling you. Hey, but moving on, man, from Liam Paul. Shout out to Liam Paul. I'm looking forward to that fight, man. Shout out to our Aussie brethren and sister. We got a couple Australians in the chat. You know what I'm saying? We international like that. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, moving on, man. I want to talk about Eddie Hearn. Speaking of Pacquiao, Eddie Hearn said he's not feeling Pacquiao's title shot. He's not feeling it, you know, and I don't disagree. You know, I understand how people would be disappointed that Pacquiao coming out of retirement, essentially 4 years from fighting, and 4 years removed from fighting, and last time he fought, he lost, right? So I understand if you look at Pacquiao getting a title shot with the WBC against Mario Barrios, your initial reaction is like this. What? I get it, you know, but Eddie Hearn, you got to slow down, little buddy, sir. Eddie Hearn. Eddie. You know, we're mad at Pacquiao getting the I understand you're disappointed he's getting a title shot, but you got to slow down, because Eddie Hearn, you got to realize that your guy is a beneficiary of the same type of love that Pacquiao is getting, right? The same unfairness, your guy's a beneficiary of it, because Pacquiao came back ranked number 5 in the WBC in the welterweight division, right? You know who else came back number 5 in the division that he never fought at before? Yeah, that'd be Conor Benn. He's number 5 in the IBF, coming off of a loss that wasn't in the 154-pound division, and he's coming off of PEDs, etc. You know what I'm saying? Some other things too. And he's ranked number 5. So what are you complaining about? You know what I'm saying? Now I will say Conor Benn has fought more recently than Manny Pacquiao. He's younger than Manny Pacquiao, but he never fought in the 154-pound division. Pacquiao was a champion in the 147-pound division. You know, so, you know, I'm not justifying either one of them, but sometimes we got to look at the people complaining. I don't think that Eddie Hearn is complaining that Pacquiao's getting a shot. I believe that if he was Pacquiao's handler, he'd be happy. You know, so he's just not happy because he's not Pacquiao's handler, and because he feels like it's holding up the 147-pound division, which he is, and because he has boots and he wants boots to get these title opportunities so he can finally move up, so he can get what he really wants, and that's Conor Benn as a champion in the 147-pound division, because he feels like it's a little weaker, and he doesn't want to have his two guys, Boots and Benn, fight. He wants to keep Benn far away. You want to keep him down yonder, away from Boots. That's what it is, you know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was funny that Eddie Hearn is over here expressing his disappointment in the gosh dang Manny Pacquiao title situation, where his guy's a beneficiary of the same, a very similar suspicious movement and suspicious rankings. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's crazy, man. Ain't that funny? Shout out to my guy Clone, man, dropping that bread, that cheese, that butter. Shout out to my guy, big member in the building. Shout out to Clone, man. Clone says, shit, Willie, what's the cheddars? I'll take that 10. Do I got to tell him he's sassy as well? He said, I got to tell him, take me coming in here dancing like this. He be coming in there dancing like this, fool. Hey. That's Adrian Broder, Gervonta Tank Davis, and Richardson Hitchens dancing like that. Oh, man, that's too funny, man. You can call it Tank a buff Gary Coleman or whatever. That's crazy. I agree with Hearns, though. You know how I feel about the jumping back in line because you feel like it, or you spending that money. These kids in the sport now get shitted on. Yeah, I agree. I agree with Hearn as well. I'm not saying that I don't disagree. So I agree with you and Hearn, Oster. But my point is that you can't be complaining when you are the beneficiary of suspicious movement as well. Conor Ben ain't got no business being ranked number 5 in the IBF at 154 pounds. He never fought at 154 pounds. His last fight, he just lost. How did his ranking go up from a loss? Especially in a division that he didn't even fight at. It's not like he fought a champion at 154. He fought a guy who at 160, and Chris Eubank Jr., who's not even a champion. So why is he ranked number 5 in the IBF at 154? In fact, his fight before, what are we talking about? let's pull up Conor Ben right now. You know, so I'm just saying that it's fuckery on his part as well. I'm not saying that he doesn't have a point. He definitely has a good point. But you shouldn't be pointing out a crime if you are a criminal yourself. You see what I'm saying? So look, his last fight was against Peter Dobson before Chris Eubank. His last fight was with Chris Eubank at 160. Fight before that was at 150, a catchweight against Peter Dobson. You see what I'm saying? And so his fight before that was at 154, but against Rodolfo Orozco. But his fight before that was at 147 against Chris Van Heerden. So he's never really been at 150. And to be honest, I think this was a catchweight because you see his 154 and a half. I don't know if he just, I don't quite remember. When y'all might remember, I don't know if he just missed weight or they fought at a catchweight. I don't know if this was allowed. Maybe they fought at a catchweight at 155. I'm not sure. But Conor Ben came in at 153 and a half, which makes a weight. But Rodolfo Orozco came in at 154 and a half. And they don't have, they usually put a note. They usually notate if somebody misses weight. They didn't notate that he missed weight. And I don't remember. So I'm not sure if it was officially at 154 or not. But the point is, either way, his last 2 fights were at 154. And I think it was a catchweight if my memory serves me correctly. So he's never really been at 154. Yet if we go to the boxing rankings, who is ranked number 5, at 154? Who and the IBF? Who named this is? That says Conor Ben. So yeah, that's crazy, right? And then you go to 147. Yeah, Pacquiao's ranked number 5 in the WBC. And he's getting a title shot, but it's the same number 5. You feel me? It's the same number 5. So why is he ranked number 5? I don't really understand it. So I'm not saying that he doesn't have a point, but my point is that you shouldn't be complaining because you would do the same thing for your guy because you're doing a similar thing for your guy right now. So yeah, but as far as Manny Pacquiao getting a title shot, do I think that it's good for boxing? I mean, I don't really care, you know, to be honest, because let's look at it right now, right? The number 1 guy for the WBC for Mario Barrios would be Devin Haney, right? Devin Haney was just in a fight with Jose Carlos Ramirez. And the thought was that Devin Haney would be occupied with a rematch with Ryan Garcia. So when you look at it like that, the number 1 guy in the WBC was occupied and he wouldn't get a title shot anyway against Mario Barrios, right? We thought he would be fighting a rematch against Ryan Garcia. Now, things didn't go according to plan, but there is no number 1 that's available. So Manny Pacquiao gets it. Kai Velasquez, who I think is ranked number 4, gets it. I don't really care, you know. But you're right, though. I do agree that it's not fair, but that's not the fighter's fault. It's not Manny Pacquiao's fault. It's not Barrios' fault. It's the sanctioning body's fault. It's the WBC that allowed it because you can't defend your belt against the opposition that they don't approve. So they approved Manny Pacquiao. So I don't know. Man, he said PBC just tried to cash in on Barrios before he lose that belt. Yeah, facts. Yeah. And I think WBC is as well, you know. So it is what it is, man. It is what it is. But moving on, man, let's talk about the main topic right here. That's Oscar De La Hoya with Golden Shower Promotions, man. Oscar De La Hoya said he wants the Rolly versus Ryan Garcia rematch. And he says he wants the Rolly and Ryan rematch because Haney is a runner. Yeah, he's a runner. He ran away with the win against Jose Carlos Ramirez, your guy, because you went 0-3 on that night. And he says, yeah, Devin Haney is a runner, so he doesn't want the rematch because he's running. Yeah, he's a runner, but he's also a winner. Meanwhile, Ryan Garcia is a PED popping, drug cheating, lying loser. You know what I'm saying? So Ryan Garcia, so Devin Haney may be a runner, but he's also a winner. Ryan Garcia is a PED popping, drug cheating, lying, racist loser. And he lost against Rolly Romero. Did he press the fight? I don't remember Ryan Garcia pressing the fight after he got dropped in the 2nd round. By the way, he got dropped by Luke Campbell in the 2nd round as well. Right? I don't remember him pressing the fight, you know. It's so funny. It's so funny to me that, you know, shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a promoter. But it's so funny. Did you notice that Oscar De La Hoya wants another rematch with Ryan Garcia, involving Ryan Garcia? Didn't Ryan Garcia want a rematch with Gervonta Tank Davis? He wanted a rematch with Devin Haney. And now he wants a rematch with Rolly Romero. Do you see the pattern there? outside of Devin Haney, it was a no contest, so he didn't win, right? So you could call him, if you don't win, you're a loser, especially when you cheat, right? He lost to Gervonta Tank Davis, and then he lost to Rolly Romero. He wants a rematch. Isn't it so funny that the guys that are always adamant about pursuing a rematch, even if they're avoiding another rematch, is because they lost? Like, you're the loser, bro. The majority of the times, the person that are pursuing the rematches are losers. Look at Savannah Marshall. She's going after Clarissa Shields, which I love to see that rematch, but she lost. Hannah Gabriels wanted the Clarissa Shields rematch. She lost. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of people, you don't see Katie Taylor gang banging about the rematch. It's Amanda Serrano because she lost. You see what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua wants a trilogy with Usyk, and Tyson Fury wants a trilogy with Usyk because they lost. I'm not saying that Usyk doesn't want it either, because that's a cash that's probably the biggest money fight in there. But Daniel Dubois wants a rematch more than Usyk. He won that, challenged him in the ring and stuff because he lost. So it's usually the losers that are more adamant about the rematch. So Ryan Garcia, he wants every single fight that he wants is a rematch, essentially. He wanted Tank. He lost a Tank. He wanted Devin Haney. He cheated him, so essentially didn't win. You know, he lost. And then he wants Rolly Romero. So we got to tell the truth about it. The truth about it is that when Oscar De La Hoya, I watched the interview, he said that, oh yeah, Ryan Garcia has options. No, you're running out of options. Devin Haney's a runner, but you're running out of options. Your options are running. They're running very low, and you're trying to fool the public, but you don't really have much. Ryan Garcia is not what, well, I don't know why we thought, I was gonna say what we thought he was. I'm gonna say what people thought he was, you know what I'm saying? And this is coming from somebody who I think that Ryan Garcia has a good chance of beating Devin Haney in the rematch. You know what I'm saying? But if he looks at how he looked against Rolly Romero, I would say no. But, you know, however, the point is that Ryan Garcia, before, people were saying, oh, you know, we're interested in him possibly fighting Conor Benn, possibly fighting Errol Spence, possibly fighting Jerome Boutinis, possibly fighting Teofimo, possibly fighting all these guys. Who's interested in any of those fights, especially any guy that's 147 or above? Nobody wants to see him against those guys that I just named anymore. Maybe against Teofimo because they're still about the same size, but anybody else, everybody's acting like, oh, Ryan Garcia could fight this person, fight that person. Even Shakur Stevenson, I don't think anybody wants to see him against them anymore, right? So his options are running low because nobody will believe that he could beat those guys when he lost to Rolly Romero. And Rolly Romero's not bad, but that's how people are, right? We think that fighters, if they're not great or they're not at the top of the food chain, that they're not deserving of respect or they're not decent. You know, Rolly Romero's a good fighter. He's not the best, but he's a good fighter. So in a reality where we appreciate boxing and respect champions, him really losing to Ryan Garcia, him losing to Rolly Romero is not that bad of a thing. But because we see Rolly Romero not look that good against Isaac Pitbull Cruz, we see him get dropped and stopped by Gervonta Tank Davis. We've seen him struggle against the old man Ishmael Barroso, the Venezuelan contender. Then this looks a little shaky, you know, with the expectations of him beating with Ryan Garcia beating Rolly Romero, and then you losing and getting dropped and looking like he punched the Austrian, punched the excuses and punched the confidence about of him. Nobody's really interested in these fights. So his best bet is probably Devin Haney still. I think people will be more interested in Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney still, than even more so than than Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero, because we don't see Devin Haney as what? We don't see him as a power puncher. We see him as pillow fisted. So some people will still think, and I'm one of them, that Ryan Garcia could potentially walk through Devin Haney's punches. We know he can't walk through Rolly's because we've seen that. Matter of fact, after he got clapped, he didn't want to walk forward at all. You see what I'm saying? After the third round, I'll say he did try to fight a little bit in the third round. I'll give him that. But after that, he was deterred from even fighting back. You know what I'm saying? So if Rolly Romero fought with a little more gusto and he was willing to take more chances, he could have had Ryan Garcia. He probably could have stopped Ryan Garcia with the towel stoppage. You know what I'm saying? They would have had him in there like fight back.
Get him up. Let him get up. Let him get up. Let him get up. Fight back. Fight back.
So I think Rolly Romero could have stopped him, but he just, you know, people were happy and enamored like myself with the fact that he dropped Ryan Garcia. But if you want to be honest, like I said, that entire card wasn't that good. You know, we talk about Devin Haney running and Jose Carlos Ramirez not pressing the issue. Canelo the next day not pressing the issue against Skull. Rolly Romero didn't really press the issue against Ryan either, because I think he could have stopped him. And I think he even said that too. He said, I could have stopped him. So why didn't you? You know what I'm saying? So it's just funny that certain moments are bigger than the entire fight, but that fight wasn't that exciting outside of the second round, you know. But you know, I think that the Rolly rematch is a good fight for Ryan Garcia because everybody wants to see people get revenge. But I think the bigger fight for Ryan Garcia is still Devin Haney. I really don't believe any. Does anybody think that he'll beat Tank after getting dropped by Rolly Romero, a guy that, matter of fact, those are both Tank's sons, if you want to look at it like that? Does anybody think, you know, with Tank stopping Rolly and Ryan, does anybody now believe that Ryan has a good chance against Tank anymore? A guy who's a more accurate puncher, a better boxer, and will stop you because he stopped him before? I don't think anybody does. So, you know, all this running around is nothing but a facade with Oscar De La Hoya making it seem like Ryan Garcia has options. Ryan Garcia he doesn't really have too many options, bro. I said, I don't get it. Is Oscar is trying to do the fight again? Yeah. Shout out to Keenan. Yeah, he's trying to do the fight again, bro. He's trying to do Rolly and Ryan again. And, you know, but what I think Keenan, now this is me, I don't know this, you know, I'm just going off of body language of what he said and the facts that I have in front of me and the evidence that I have to deal with. I think he's just saying anything to avoid the Devin Haney fight because he knows that Devin Haney is an easy target as far as pushing the blame off of. So he's saving face by blaming Devin Haney and making things seem like he's basically using Devin Haney as a scapegoat, you know, because he's talked about how boring the fights are while simultaneously avoiding the fact that he went 0-3 in his own event, right? He self-proclaimed Golden Boy event. He said that he had 3 headliners and all 3 of his headliners lost. He went 0-3. The only person that beat him in one night of losses is Eddie Hearn when he went 0-5 against Frank Warren in Queensberry. During the Queensberry matchroom thing when they went 0-5, that's the only thing that tops him for losses in one night. Oscar De La Hoya went 0-3. Barbosa lost, Golden Shower Promotions. Ryan Garcia lost, Golden Shower Promotions. Jose Carlos Ramirez lost, Golden Shower Promotions. So it is what it is. So I think that every time he does that, he's trying to deflect and distract people from the fact that Ryan Garcia lost and all his fighters lost. So what interesting fight is there for? So let's play his game, right? Devin Haney's not an interesting fight. What fight, like you just said, Keenan, is lame, right? What fight is interesting for Ryan Garcia? That's not Devin Haney. Every single fight lost his steam because he lost. That's what happens when you lose. You also lose steam. You also lose confidence. You also lose fans. You also lose people's faith in you. You also lose money. So you lost in multiple ways. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing about you trying to make it seem like Ryan Garcia's a winner or he has options. What options, bro? Your best option is Devin Haney. Your best option was Devin Haney, and it still is Devin Haney. Even more so now, it's Devin Haney for sure. Because at the end of the day, we think Devin Haney can't punch, and we think Ryan Garcia could walk through those punches like he did on that fateful night of April 20th, 2024, right? That's what we think could possibly transpire again. Outside of that, we know he can't take Rolly's punches. He damn sure can't take Boots' punches. He damn sure can't take a battered and bruised and beat up Errol Spence's punches. He damn sure can't take a Conor Ben punch. He can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, who do we have confidence that he could beat now? He probably can't take Rolly Romero's punch again because he didn't want to take it again. So, I mean, his best option is Devin Haney, you know? So I just think that when Oscar says that he's worried about running, he knows that if Jose Carlos Ramirez being a former Olympian, a unified champion, if he can't cut off the ring, he knows Ryan Garcia won't be able to cut off the ring either. That's what he's worried about. So, because when Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia fought, you know, the one thing I would never say, I would never fight against is that Devin Haney definitely approached the fight. I ain't gonna say the wrong game plan, but definitely a different game plan than what he normally does. And what he did against Ramirez, he fought a thinking man's game, a cerebral game. It wasn't an entertaining game. It wasn't an intriguing game. It was a terrible game plan from a fan entertainment standpoint. But that's what Devin Haney does. He comes with a game plan that it caters to the person he's fighting, like Lomachenko. No matter how close that fight was, he comes up with game plans that are specific for the fighters he's fighting, like Regis Prograis and now Jose Carlos Ramirez. So I think that he's well aware that they can implement a game plan during training camp, particularly that caters particularly towards Ryan Garcia, and that's what he's worried about. Ryan Garcia won't be able to react, especially if Ryan Garcia has to come in clean, like all fighters should. You see. Oster said nothing. Ryan, he said nothing, none. Ryan done. Nothing, none. Ryan done. This man got made a chant. Nothing, none. Ryan done. Yep. Nothing, none. Ryan done. Yep. This man Oster is hilarious, bro. Shout out to my guy Running Reb in the building, man. Big member in the building. He said, I know the numbers are not always 100%, but according to Copy Box, Ryan threw less punches than all the runners that weekend. Talk to him, Running Reb. That's the thing. But that's the thing, Running Reb. You see where you're wrong? You're wrong because you're right. And these days, being factual is worse somehow than being opinionated and being entitled to your baseless facts. Which, if they're baseless facts, are no longer facts. You're baseless opinions. You know what I'm saying? So it's better to tell a lie and better to be so opinionated and loud about it than it is to be actually be right. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you're wrong. You're not wrong because you're wrong. You're wrong because you're right. And it's scary, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you talk about look at society, man. I'm talking about everything, not just boxing. I'm talking about, you know, people's sexuality and people's opinions and orientations and politics. And look around, bro. Let's keep it America, whether you like Trump or not. He is the person, the candidate that he's the president with the least amount of public service. Facts. And whether you like him or not, I'm not saying you keep your political opinions. You can say it in your chat. I don't care. You know, we can talk about everything in the chat. But what I'm saying is I'm not knocking anybody who likes him. What I'm saying, the fact is of the matter is that he has the least experience in the realm of public service. He's a president right now. He's the public service. He's the head of public service with the least amount of experience in public service. so it's not about like that's the time we live in. You know what I'm saying? I can tell you, you can look at me and see that I'm, you know what I'm saying? That might be a little too much. I ain't trying to get canceled, but you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking anybody's lifestyle, but that's the world we live in. You know, you could look at me and see something is one way, and I could tell you that it's something else, and you got to go with me or else you're wrong. Am I lying, Rep? Am I lying, Clone? Tell me I'm lying. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. You do you, live your life. God bless you. You know what I'm saying? I'm no judgment. I'm just telling you these are the facts. You could say something is true. We can realize it's true, but I could tell you it's wrong, and you gotta go with what I say. And you're gonna get punished or reprimanded or judged for being right. Yeah. Somebody can say something racist, and I say, "Oh man, hey, hold on, bro. Ryan Garcia just said F blacks and Muslims." But then me being black and Muslim, or I'm not Muslim, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if I was black and Muslim and I point that out, somehow I'm the one that's hating. Bro, this is the world we live in, bro. It's crazy. It's nuts. It's nuts, bro. It's nuts, bro. It's nuts. I'm gonna pause that because that was a little bit too many nuts.
No, did he?
That's the world we live in, man. When you're right, you're wrong. When you're right, you're wrong. He says, I'll say it for you. Trump is a professional liar and the devil minion. Dumb, but I'm gonna whoop your ass. Nah, man, shout, you know what I'm saying? Hey, put on your MAGA hats proud, man. Shout out to Trevor McCumbee, man. I'm trying to get Trevor McCumbee on the show, you feel me? Like I said, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying it is what it is, man. If you look at the world we're in right now, bro, it's less truth and more. It's like the more wrong you are, the righter you are. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. But at the end of the day, we should all have compassion. We should all love each other, and it's okay to be wrong. You know, God forgives, so we should as well. But you know, we're not God. We don't have the capacity to forgive like that, and our forgiveness doesn't matter as much as his. But so I'm saying we should be patient and tolerant of each other, but at the same time, we should realize the nonsense and the fuckery that goes on as well. You know, so I can see something's one way, and you tell me it's that way. If I don't agree with you, then I'm hating. I'm the one that's hateful. Chill, we know you tutor Trump on reading classes. Hey man, shout out to El Presidente though, you know. But yeah, man. So that's the thing about it, Reb. You know, it's not about the truth. It's about catering to people's feelings. You know, that's sad. You know, you speak the truth, you're the bad guy. Oscar been running the scare promotion for a while now. No chance, just a lot of misleading to the fans. Facts, BR. Shout out to BR. But this is what I say though. I know I talk about Oscar because he's there, right? Oscar does a good job. I can't front on that. Oscar, I might talk trash about him, but I really like Oscar, especially as a fighter, man. Golden Boy was that dude. You know what I'm talking about? That dude was a beast, you know, and he was hoping that he could get Oscar 2.0 and Ryan Garcia. They have a lot of similarities. I actually made a video about it. Like Ryan Garcia is Oscar 2.0. You know, Oscar De La Hoya started singing. His stardom was so big, he started singing. Ryan Garcia started rapping, right? Did he make a song? I'm blessed. Was it? I'm blessed something. nuts. Yeah, we go. Yeah. You wildin'.
What do you mean by that?
Was it blessed and highly favored, right? Blessed and highly favored, right? Blessed, highly favored. Remember, he made Oscar De La Hoya. He did the same thing, right? Remember, he started singing. He started singing like, you know, serenading people like gosh dang Whitney Houston and Enrique Iglesias and stuff. He was singing. Dropped the album, right? They both Mexican American, so they have the same heritage, right? Similar heritage. I think they're both from California. I don't know if Ryan's from LA, but they're both from California for sure. You know, and let's face it, they're willing to fight. You know, shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. That's one thing I cannot take away from Ryan Garcia. When Ryan Garcia says I'm willing to fight somebody, I believe him. That's why I liked him until he started saying that discriminatory race is BS, right? And cheating and stuff. But I like Ryan Garcia. He's charismatic. Same with Oscar De La Hoya, very charismatic. So but I will say this, why I say Oscar De La Hoya does a good job as a promoter, BR, is because that's what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I think that, shout out to Al Heyman and PBC, but I think that's where they don't do a good job at. They don't do a good job at representing their fighters socially and publicly, right? Oscar De La Hoya, he's out there, so he's gonna take a lot of the hits. So Oscar Duarte doesn't have to. So Ryan Garcia doesn't have to. So well, you can't really save Kid Austin because Kid Austin is dumbass, and not really Kid Austin, but his father's terrible. But he would probably take more shots if it was for Oscar. Don't really defend him either. That's crazy. Why Oscar don't defend you, because that's how off the wall you are. But even that could have been worse. Oscar did take a little bit of blame. He said, man, I don't know what happened. He didn't just blame his fighter, throw him under the bus like Bob Arum did with Teofimo. So you got to give him some credit for that, and Virgil Ortiz, so he's the one that's going to talk and speak on the behalf of the fight, just like Eddie Hearn does, just like Frank Warren. I wouldn't say he's the best at that, but he does it as well, and so when you are behind the scenes, then a lot more of the onus is on the fighters to promote themselves, I like PBC. I like most of the promotions, but that's one thing I think is a fair criticism of PBC. They don't really promote the fighters. Well, Leonard Ellaby does, what I'm saying? But he mostly does tank, but he doesn't really promote as much as far as being outgoing and outside like Eddie Hearn is, or like Oscar De La Hoya is. So you got to give him that credit. However, I am going to call out the bull jive that I see. Like when he says that, the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, nobody's interested because Devin Haney is a runner.
Bullshit! Bullshit! Bullshit, 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 bullshit!
No, people aren't interested because Ryan Garcia lost. That's why they're not interested as much anymore, because Devin Haney still won. So, he definitely does his thing with the promotion, man. I can't knock him for that. But at the same time, like you said, we pay attention. So, it's up to us to point out the nonsense. I ain't gonna cap that Haney pack was 5 till we found out right. Hey, the tunes was light. Hey, it was lit now. I ain't gonna lie, For a boxer, a tune from a boxer, yeah. A tune from a boxer, yeah. I gotta give credit. That's one thing, man. We objective right here, but I'm gonna give credit where credit is due, He said, yeah, he's from LA. Appreciate it. Yeah, he definitely builds his brand any way he can. Yeah, exactly. Any way he can. That's a good one. Any way he can. He gonna go with the bull drive. He gonna ride the wave. He gonna manipulate the facts. You know what I'm saying? And even let's look at it too. BR, look at Clapback Thursday. Whatever he be doing. That was fire. What I'm saying? He said a lot of bull jive. He said a lot of nonsense, but that was great. It was entertaining, was it not? If you know boxing, then you know a lot. The majority, I'd say like 85% of it, and that's probably me being generous, it was cap, right? 85% of it was lies, but it was funny. That's promotion, man. People gonna look at the brand. Can he do a better job at promoting guys like Oscar Duarte? Like I would say, to me, Eddie Hearn is the best promoter. Like Eddie Hearn is gonna promote Terry Harper, a female boxer. He gonna promote Sky Nicholson, all the way to Jabataya, Dimitri Bivol, to smaller guys too, like a Dalton Smith. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna promote everybody almost equally. Do I think Oscar De La Hoya could do a better job? Of course. Gabriela Fedor. If Gabriela Fedor was a matchroom, oh man, she'll be a bigger star. You know what I'm saying? He has an undisputed champion, the youngest ever undisputed champion in the 4-belt era, and you don't really hear from her as much as you probably could with Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya's forte is not really women's boxing. So, and look, and even her fight where she acquired undisputed as the youngest ever, she wasn't even the co-main. Forget the main. She wasn't the co-main. She was the third fight on the bill, which is crazy. That fight was a historical fight against Gabriela Alanis. Gabriela Fedor versus Gabriela Alanis was for her to get undisputed in 112-pound division and become the youngest undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. And that fight wasn't even co-main. And you know what the main event was, that card, BR? It was Kid Austin versus Renee Tellis-Giron. If you go in the middle of the mall and ask people who is Renee Tellis-Giron, the only appropriate response is going to be this.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the fuck is that?
And that's no disrespect to Renee Tellis-Giron, but my point is that if you're going to have a fight against Floyd Kid Austin Schofield and Renee Tellis-Giron, and they're going to be unknown anyway, why wouldn't you make the record-setting fight, the potential historical fight, why wouldn't you make that the main event? Despite it being women. Terry Harper's main eventing the fight, and I don't even remember who she's fighting this weekend, but that's because it's Matchroom. You know, Eddie Hearn spreads the love. You know what I'm saying? Jake Paul does a good job of celebrating the women as well. So I would say that Oscar De La Hoya probably needs to tighten up as far. He can improve. I ain't gonna say tighten up. He can improve with spreading the love amongst his stable. You know what I'm saying? But he really focuses on his top guys, and that's Virgil Ortiz, Ryan Garcia, William Zepeda, and that's about it. You know, Oscar Duarte's trying to wiggle in there for a little bit. I feel like he was trying to do something with Charles Conwell. He shows Kid Austin a little bit of love, but his daddy crazy. So yeah. Shout out to my guy Ty in the building, big member in the building. He said Oscar knew not to talk shit about Canelo while Turkey was promoting the fight. Yeah, you know what's going on with Cinnamon. He know what's going on with Cinnamon. So yeah, Oscar definitely be capping, but I gotta give him his credit. He's a good promoter. Man, I'm trying to promote Skynet. Your hot ass, bro. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, she been looking good lately though, boy. You see her commentating? What she was just commentating? Was that the Johnny Fisher Dave Allen card? I said, hold on now. But I always thought she was pretty though. I think she pretty. What's the name? Pretty too. Alicia Baumgartner, of course. Clarissa Shields. I saw her on the Sway Morning Show. She was looking good. You know what I'm saying? There's quite a few attractive champions out there, man. Shaneka Johnson's pretty as well. What's her name too? Yeah, there's a shout out to them, man. So, you know, Gabriela Fedora. Yeah, I ain't gonna be lying now, but she's cute too, you know. Shout out to them, man. They be doing their thing, man. What's the name too? What's the name just fought too? Shannon. Is it Shannon Ryan? I can't remember her name. Shannon Ryan, she's pretty too. You know, you got Natasha Jonas. So yeah, Shannon Ryan's pretty too. So there's a lot of pretty champions out there, man. And they be fighting too. Shout out to the women, man. One time for the ladies, they be out there fighting. Most importantly, you see how she curved Derek Chisora? I saw that. I thought it was a joke though, man. That's the thing. I think people were. I thought, you know, I ain't gonna lie. Now I could be wrong now, you know, because you know people say, "Oh, Derek Chisora's married." That don't mean nothing. You know, these boys they be hot meat out here. You know what I'm saying? They see a little, you know, hey, don't nothing get you in trouble like a woman, boy. So I'm not saying because he married, but I thought it was a joke because the way she turned around after she said, "Oh no, what are you doing?" And then, and, you know, and this is what I'm pointing to. Because if you remember when him and Conor Ben were going at it, like jokingly, and then Conor Ben said something that he said to the rude, like, F off, I can't stand that freaky guy. And then they look back at each other from a distance, you know, like they're like it was a joke. If you go back and watch the video, you see Scott Nicholson look back and they both kind of smile. I thought it was a joke. I didn't think it was real, but you know, people are going to make a big deal out of anything. I thought it was more of a joke. Because even when he said, well, we go grab dinner, and she's like, oh, what you talking about? Eddie Hearn might want to he better throw some, if it was real, he better throw some appreciation to Scott Nicholson, because if Derek Chisora was trying to prove a point and go whoop Eddie Hearn, but he'll want them problems. He might have 13 L's, but he'll whoop Eddie. You gotta smile after being curved. Nah, man, I thought it was a joke, man. Shout out to Derek Chisora, but I mean, maybe she did curve him, you know. I thought it was. Let's look at it. Let's see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it, man. Y'all think it was for real? I thought it was a joke. Let's see if I can find it. Here you go, right here. Of course I can find it on Twitter.
Whoa. How are you?
Like even the whoa, it's just like a joke, bro.
Thanks.
When are we gonna grab dinner?
Whoa.
Well, when are we gonna grab dinner?
Don't be coming at me like that.
Don't you like dinner or what?
I like dinner on my own.
Alright.
You see how she looked back right there, bro? Look, bro. It's a joke, bro. Look, she looked back, and then she looked back right here. She smiling, man. It's a joke, man. He said, I like dinner on my own. And then even when she said, whoa, it's just a joke, man.
Whoa.
Well, when are we gonna grab dinner?
Don't be coming at me like that.
Don't you like
don't be coming at me like that. The way she, man, it's a joke, man. Y'all be tripping, man. Come on, man. She joking, bro. Relax. Doc, these UGC hoes look good, though. True story. They joke, bro. Stop it, bro. Come on, man. They two adults just joking with each other, man. Stop it, man. Stop it, man. That ain't no damn joke. Come on, man. Stop it, bro. Relax. They just joking, man. But yeah, man. So that's what I mean. At least I think so. I don't know. I thought it was a joke. Meanwhile, Top Rank has a young cougar commentating. The crazy part is I know he's talking about Michaela Mayer, man. Leave Michaela Mayer alone. I like Michaela Mayer. That's my dog, but she definitely be looking like a young old lady, though. Shout out to Michaela Mayer, man. Michaela Mayer be looking like a young old lady, boy. What's wrong with Michaela Mayer, man? She be looking young and old at the same time. Yeah, she joked. She low-key even stated it's all right to say that it might just be. Thank you, Tufo. Come on, man. See, that's my boy Tufo know what it is, man. You gotta know what a lady, when they just joking. They just joking, man. Tufo, she hugged him tighter. Yeah, thank you, Dub. You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Thank you, Tufo. I mean, thank you, Dub and Tufo, man. They just joking, man. You gotta understand these people. They fraternize with each other all the time. They know each other, man. They both. You know, English box. I know Sky Nooks is from Australia, but obviously she's in England a lot. She was just commentating English fight, you know. She probably even lives in England, hell. I don't know. I mean, she might live with Eddie, hell. Can't be wearing no cowboy hats trying to get... Hey, she might like the black cowboys, man. You know, the original cowboys. That's what they say, ain't it? Shout out to all the black and brown cowboys, man. Shout out to the white cowboys as well. They get a lot of shout outs though, you know. Shout out to the black and brown cowboys as well. You know, yeah, I thought it was a joke, man. But yeah, I did see it though, Ty. Yes, sir. She felt the third. Hey, yo, hold on now.
No, did it?
She. A gentleman at the same time. My third leg got hang time. Bang, 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 bang time. Game face with his game time. What y'all know about that? Y'all know nothing about that. Tufo know about that. Tufo, a young brother. A gentleman at the same time. A third leg got hang time. Bang, 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 bang time. Game face when it's game time. Yeah, Dub Waller, man. Dub Waller, man. But yeah, man. So yeah, that's basically it for the topics today, man. If anybody wants to pull up in the Discord, it is open. If not, then we gonna go ahead and call it, man. I'm gonna open up the Discord. You know, I want to say too, man. Tufo, you got access to the BTF members only chat, man. Everybody that's a member in the YouTube, I want to stress that, man. You get Big Dog Willie, Tufo, Clone. You have access to the BTF members only chat, man. That is the members only chat that you can access anytime. Oster, whether Ty, of course, whether I'm online or I'm offline. So I got to emphasize that we switched up the names, but it's the same exact process, you know. And if you're not a member, then you have access to the waiting room, and then I'll pull you up when we're live. So I want to give a little bit more perks and a little bit more love to the people that show a little bit more love, you know, with the channel to keep us going and growing. I think that's only right. So, you know, before I used to let people just go in there and talk and chill and wrap it up, you know, and chop it up. But, you know, now I'm gonna make it, you can still do it, but you have to be a member on the channel. I think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? And it's showing love. So we all black and brown people have a shared history of what Cowboys are. Come on now, Cito. Shout out to all the Cowboys, you know, but you know, gotta show love to the loveless, you know, the ones that don't get the love. You right, Cito. Yep. They definitely was joking, but women were definitely reminding this was on. Talk to him, Ty. They gonna remind you. They gonna put you in the zone. They gonna remind you of the zone. But then, you know what I'm saying? Then you get some greenie in your scenery, and then they want to change their zone. But you gotta remember, don't change their zone. Give them the bone, but don't change their zone. You know what I'm talking about? Get the meat. But that's it. You know what I'm talking about? You got to put the pimp hand down. Man, chat, what's up with the New York? Hey, chat, though. You see, hey, look, I want to show y'all this, though, right? So, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I put, people hit me up. I'm not going to name any names. People hit me up like, Doc, you missed my message. Doc, you missed my message. You see? You know how many messages y'all miss of mine? I don't be complaining. Look at it. Nobody responded. But I know why Clone didn't respond, right? Because I said, no way he just made that shot. You know who that was, right? That was Tyrese Halliburton. And you know it was on the Knicks, right? Wasn't Clone just talking trash about the Knicks the other day? This was Clone right here. Said, oh, the Knicks go to the conference finals and now Doc canceling shows. Pretty strange, huh? And it's pretty strange you ain't in the Discord to see Tyrese Halliburton smack the gosh dang Knicks, huh? Ain't that funny, huh? Yeah. We got my boy Cito in the waiting room. Let's get my boy Cito live. I'm about to pull you up, Cito. She had to remind him of his own, or Eddie wasn't putting her back on the zone. She had to remind him of this. Hey, that's bars right there. Shout out to my boy Tufo, man. That's bars. He said she had to remind him of his zone. Yeah. Or Eddie wasn't putting her back on the zone. Yeah. That's a fact. Bars. That's bars. What the Halliburton? Yep. Hey, Halliburton went. Hey, bro, how did he get that? That's how you know you got a soft touch. People can say, "Oh, that's lucky." He said, "I report your channel." People can say, "Oh, that's lucky." Man, that's a soft touch, man. That's called a soft touch in basketball, man. That ball bounced all the way up and dropped, bro. Just like how he did that 3-pointer on who was that again? On the Cleveland, man. Hey, the Pacers might be something to deal with, man. But I just can't root for Indiana. Outside of Reggie Miller, I can't root for Indiana. Indiana be racist, bro. And people act like, oh, that's just something that's being seen now with Caitlin Clark. No, and the WNBA. It's seen more there now. It's more prevalent. But no, Indiana's always been known as a racist place. As far as sports go, you know, sports arena, Indiana, Boston, Utah. Come on, man. We got my boy Ty in the building. What's good, brethren? We got Cito in the building. What's good, brethren?
What's going on, man? Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Good.
Yes, sir. He said Pacers disrespectful. They gave the ball to him to try to shoot. Oh, yeah, when Tyrese just gave the ball to Karl Anthony Towns. That joke was funny. He ain't have enough time. I ain't wasting my time here. Go ahead, take it. You want it? Take it.
Hey, who won yesterday, actually, about the Knicks and the Pacers?
Pacers.
Okay.
Yes,
What's
sir.
up?
Yes, sir. Isaiah, what's good? But yeah, man, talk to me, Cito. What's good, bro?
Nothing, my man. Just following you this morning. I told you I'm gonna be back on a daily with you guys. I'm trying to see when, like I said, when I get a hold of Ty, so I can go ahead and get membership.
Isaiah, what's good? Get the membership? Okay, bet. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think. What how does it look on the iPhone? Does it look crazy?
It's not that, bro. It's just that I think last time I talked to Ty, he says I have to do it the computer way. Like I gotta log in.
You can't do it on the iPhone because it doesn't show you a membership. It'll just say like
exactly that, which is weird. It's like iOS isn't programmed to it. Isaiah's completely right on that one.
It's a glitch with the app on YouTube. You gotta go on like your web browser on your phone to do it, or get on your computer.
Yeah. Either way, Ty, whenever you got time, this like today or tomorrow, when I catch you on the chat room, I'll go ahead and reach out to you on the Discord and just kind of walk me through it. It's no big deal.
Appreciate it, y'all. But yeah, he said Cito. Hey, yo, yes sir, Cito back in the building, man. Back in the building, man. So what's up, Isaiah? Talk to me, man. I know you got a funny take on something, man. Talk to me, bro.
You know what? I'm actually gonna start being more serious on my take.
Oh Lord.
I'm gonna start being more.
Nah, we don't want serious Isaiah, man. We don't want serious. Isaiah.
Nah. You know what? I've just been tuning into like. Well, I've been here today. I'm not going to work, so I'm gonna just chill.
Okay.
That's why I hopped on. But normally, like when I'm at work, I throw this on, bro, and the kids be like, when you were talking about Manny Pacquiao, one of the kids was like, "Isn't that dude 70?"
Hey, yo.
80,
I was cracking up so hard when he said that.
That's what's up.
And then, but we were listening to the Bob Arum stuff. I mean, and shout out to Bob Arum, bro, because you know when you're old, you tell the truth.
Here you go, Isaiah. Here you go.
Nah. I'm just saying, you know, he's told the truth about Devin. He told the truth about Canelo.
I agree.
But
I agree.
I kind of gotta disagree with Bob about Canelo. I agree he took the money and he didn't want to like engage as much. But at the same time, I feel like people are counting Canelo out against Bud.
I agree with that.
And I feel people are automatically saying, "Oh, I picked Bud off this last performance." One, Canelo didn't take punishment. Normally in his fights, he does take punishment.
Yep.
This time he didn't take no punishment, so he's fresh. Crawford's coming off of what 1 year layoff again?
Yeah, it'll be another year layoff. Yep, because he fought
It'll
in
be
August.
another year layoff. You see, when he fought Israel,
yep,
I thought that he looked okay. I just thought his timing was off.
Yeah, Israel awkward fighter too. I would say that. I gotta give him that.
Oh, super awkward fighter.
Yeah.
But I felt like Bud's timing was off and his punches weren't connecting like how he normally does, and how that's how he dominates the fight. Like when he beat up Earl,
yep,
his timing was impeccable. He was on go, and he beat him up bad.
Yep.
It was a devastating beating.
Yep.
Huh.
Brutality
Because Spence ain't come back yet.
Yeah, you don't need to either, in my opinion. But hey,
So I don't know.
Isaiah, I'm gonna agree with you 110%. I've always been one of those people. Like I've had epic conversations with Doc and with Ty about this, even with Dub once and Clone. The thing about that fight is everybody is like canceling on Canelo because he looked slow. He looked, kind of wear and tear. That man didn't take any risk in that fight.
Exactly.
He stood there. William Skull was too afraid to engage. Everybody's gonna be like, well, stylistically, he was a boxer and he was doing. Nah, the guy was scared, bro. He didn't want to get clipped and whatever. That was his strategy. No judgment on that. But to me, Bud Crawford is an exceptional fighter. He's gonna go down as one of the best, 2-time undisputed. He's crisp. He looked great, but when he fought Madrimov, my honest opinion, he looked human. That's it. I'm not going to sit there and knock him and say he didn't look anything outside of just human. He didn't look spectacular. He didn't look like the Bud Crawford who destroyed Errol Spence. He didn't look like the guy that dominated 140 and 135. He just looked human. So what do you think is going to happen when Canelo puts hands on him?
But
you know what I mean?
Give me one quick second. Give me 1 quick second. Kendrick in the building. What's good, brethren? Go ahead, bro.
You know what? That's what I was looking at some clip of Canelo the other day, and I'm just like, one, Canelo has good defense. People don't realize that his defense is as good as his offense, and he wants you to engage. Because when he fought Amir Osterine Khan, he sent that boy to oblivion.
He also fought a bunch of combos too.
He did.
And you know what?
Some combos.
That's why I got some lightweight.
He did. He caught a lot of combos, and I can see Bud coming in from 1 to 3 doing a bunch of combos because Bud likes to fight. Bud's one of those dudes. Oh, you hit me? Oh yeah, now I'm gonna hit you back.
Yep.
And I feel like Canelo excels in the pocket. And when they're coming towards him, because he's gonna come towards you too.
That's why I got Canelo. I agree. But go ahead.
Canelo
Talk to me, bro.
Chin.
Give us some facts from the bodega, man.
I ain't gonna say this is facts. This is alleged. Okay. I am not dry stitching. This is off the record, you guys.
Okay.
What would you say if somebody was sparring Canelo? Moving east and west and hitting him with combinations, and he couldn't cut the corners.
Then he just old. Then he got outboxed.
I would say I believe you.
Because of the man's arm length and range, he couldn't get inside. No matter what he did, they had to call the session.
Oh no! Recently?
So I believe.
Yeah. On top of what you were talking about yesterday, Doc. Yeah.
This is all allegedly.
Yeah,
Doc, you heard that, right?
Yeah, I heard that. That's
you
not
heard
good.
that.
No
now,
bueno.
what I'm saying is this.
No bueno.
What I'm saying is this. Listen, I'm saying is this. If it even matters, because obviously, whatever's on Terrence Crawford's side don't matter, since Canelo is, so good at everything. Now, when they say, even if he was in there with boots, Crawford was in there with Mayweather. So I'm in there with the person that beat you. You were in there with the person that even fight me. So none of that makes sense to me. I mean, it makes sense to deal with the styles. You know what I mean? To deal with the styles.
I disagree, but I see what you're saying, though. Makes sense.
No, I understand that. Disagree to disagree is cool. But what I'm saying is that when it comes to Crawford, based on everything we saw, he could be regular, this and that. Based on everything we saw, with him going into the fight with Canelo, based on what we saw with Canelo going into the fight, they both great. They both IQ is all that. So why when it comes to the answers, it's just like what Canelo don't do and he do. It's all about what Canelo would do. Like Crawford won't, like he don't have IQ. They say, yo, if he get hit, he want to get hit. I feel every boxer in the world that get hit will want to punch somebody back in their motherfucking face, to be honest with you. But some get erratic with it and end up losing the fight, and some be like Mayweather. Mayweather get hit, but he's sharpen up. And so I'm going on Crawford, IQ, boxing ring, everything he accomplished, and he's talking to Mayweather. Since everybody wants to say he's talking to Boots, he's talking to Mayweather. He's talking to people that beat him. You know what I mean? Talking to people that beat him. And I believe that Crawford could beat Canelo. I know Canelo could beat Crawford. They both could beat each other. It ain't going to be no draw. I guarantee somebody coming out of there, and whatever happened, somebody better jump to the gun first. Because like if Canelo get Crawford first, I believe Crawford ass is done. Like Caleb Plants, he fought him good, but when he put that press on him at the end and he finally fought him with that one, yeah, it happens. It's boxing.
I'm gonna let, yeah, I agree. I'm gonna let Mikhail get in here, but before I want to say this. Tufo, I already talked about that. I thought you meant video, man. Ain't nobody trying to see no gosh dang post for Stephen Coolboy Fulton about him sparring Canelo. We talked about that yesterday, man. Oh my God, you had me excited. I thought you had some video or something. That's why I'm like posting.
Eddie Reynoso not letting no tape out.
Right. That's why I'm about to be surprised. Like somebody let the tape out. But also too, I want to say this. I don't think anything you said was off, Oster, and neither do I think what Cito said. I feel like y'all both said the same thing, just in favor of the guy you're going for. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, there's cons and pros for both fighters. And basically, that's what I got for both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I think that them sparring with Floyd, that I think it is more beneficial to be with a guy, whether it's Bivol or Floyd, that beat you. Now, can he implement the same thing that those guys did against Canelo? That's a problem. But with Canelo too, I think it's also good that what Ty said, even if, let's say allegedly, right, that he was getting beat up from east to west. I'm glad it happened now, because now he can make the adjustments. If it happens on fight night, bitch, you dead. So if you're gonna get whooped, that's why they say you put the hard work in practice, because the game should be easy. This is where you perform. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going to lose and get beat up, you want it to happen in sport. You want it to happen in practice. You want to get crossed over in practice. You want to know your weaknesses in practice. You don't want to find out on game 7 of the finals. It's over with.
That's why you get these guys in early.
Right, exactly. So I think it's good, you know. But I'm going to let Mikhail. Oh, no, go ahead. You want to respond? And then I'm going to let Mikhail go in, because he been
let Mikhail go. He can go. Let him get his thing.
Go ahead, Bridger. My bad, bro.
No, you good. Just speaking to what my guy Ty coming out that bodega with his juice and his chips was talking about, man. Yeah, I heard a similar thing. That's what I was saying. I kept saying, I believe you, because I was talking to some people. I can't say, you know what I'm saying, exactly. Yeah. But I was talking to some people, and they was like, yeah, and this ain't the first time. Like, it's like, from what I heard, just, I would say, going back as far as like Munguia, like there was some little gap scene and stuff, like, but now when he was getting ready like for a mover, right? Specifically getting ready for a mover, there was some gap scene and some like the foot speed ain't where, and then like the 1-2 and the head movement, because that's what people don't realize. Like, I've been having to work on my head movement a lot.
Yep.
And the reason why you don't move your head isn't because you like, oh yeah, I just, I don't want to get out the way of the punch. Like, It's twofold. Like, it's one thing when you're trying to counter punch, you're able to counter punch more, like put more power into it if you're set up. You know what I'm saying? To counter punch. Like if you moving ahead, not only is the target moving, but you moving and the target moving. Just imagine if you had a gun, you running and they running. It's gonna be harder to get that shot off. You moving and they moving. You stand still even while they moving. It's gonna be an easier shot. So it's twofold. And the second part, it takes a lot of energy to move your head. Like we've seen Nello like just be a little bit complacent in that area. Not that he's lost the skill, but it's been like, I fighting these guys, I ain't got to. But the thing about it is, if you don't use it, you lose it.
You don't use it, you lose. That's a fact.
Hey, man. Yeah. Hey guys, I gotta get going because I'm here at work now. But before I leave, just gotta say something. Since you were talking about cowboys earlier today, Doc. I bought a horse.
We're gonna pause that.
I named him Mayo. Sometimes mayonnaise.
Okay, yeah. Go ahead, get out, bro. We gonna holler at you, see.
God bless, guys.
God bless.
All right.
Omari,
I'm learning, Doc. I'm learning,
brother. Yeah,
I'm learning, Doc. I'm learning.
Thank you, Oster, for not laughing, because he would have kept going. that wasn't bad. I got mayonnaise. That wasn't bad though. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
No, but I'm saying when it comes to people, there's a lot of great people, a lot of good fighters and great, but we gotta stop going on like when they was in their prime into now.
I agree.
Because they're not in their prime now. They're just not in their prime now. It is what it is. If we got professional fighters talking about this fight and they saying this and they saying that, and these people in the ring, and you got us, the ones that talk about it. If there's a discrepancy in there, then if he got the fight, You get what I'm saying? And when you got the fight, he actually
keep going.
got
I'll be
the
right
fight.
back. I think I heard my dog drop something. I'll be right back.
So
Keep going.
this fight it may not be believable or make sense when we talking about it, but as you dig into it and really see it, because I'm not taking nothing from Canelo, I'm not taking nothing from Crawford. I'm giving both of them all their props because I'm telling you, in this fight here, this is one that count. So Canelo, like they say, Canelo, somebody coming from down, coming up. And we look at like the weight class, but a lot of people not even looking at that weight class no more. They're not even thinking about it no more. They say, yo, this was real. And they really understanding that Crawford got real skills and he can really pull this off. If Canelo's at the top of his game. No, I'm just saying, they both could. If they both at the top of their game.
100%.
They both can pull it off.
And it's crazy to even, but you see, I always go back to the Bivol fight. I always say the bigger man beats the little man just because we saw Canelo go up. We seen him go up against Bivol, and everyone was like, "Oh, Canelo's gonna beat him. Yeah, he knocked out Kovalev. It's time. He's gonna go up there and be a champ." And then what happened? He got dissembled, and I do believe it was because like he started off good, and then after that, couple rounds just took over him. And I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen to Bud, because I don't believe Bud's gonna stand in the center of the ring and fight with him. I don't. I think Bud's gonna jump in, hit him with some combos, jump back, move around, and make Canelo go after him. That's what I think.
Yeah, but like I say, like what they say, they talk about the smaller man beating the bigger man, whatever it is. Bivol ain't beat Canelo because he's bigger than him. He beat Canelo because he fought better than Canelo. He knew how to fight him.
He outboxed him.
Yeah, he didn't beat him because he was bigger than him. So when people play with the words and they want to not you, I'm just saying how people always throwing certain words of saying the bigger, the power, and they try to discredit everything else that's in boxing. I've seen plenty of people in boxing coming in with nothing but power and some first skills beat them up.
Deontay Wilder
couldn't do nothing with him. You couldn't do nothing with him. So people hide behind that power. It's 60-something fights with Canelo, and Crawford is not. Put it this way: everybody that Canelo fought that fight like Crawford, he lost, and it's two of them, and they compare him to him. That's Mayweather and Bivol. They're the only IQ to beat him.
Can I jump in
real
quick? So you on to something, Austin. You on to something, right? But let me. It's like you on to something. I agree with you, and I disagree.
Tell him he not on to something.
No, he on to something. I agree with him, but I disagree with him. I agree with him, but I disagree with you at the same time. Now you said it's a common statement that people make. A great little man can be beat by a good big man. You know what I'm saying? Like it's hard to beat just a big man, period. And that's a reality, bro. That is a reality. Now, it's understandable that skills do pay the bills, but there's some things thing is like over 4 rounds, yeah. Over 6 rounds, yeah. The longer the rounds go,
talk to him.
The more that size
advantage
starts to factor in, because you got to do it, and you got to do it again, and you got to do it against somebody that's got bigger, better metrics. Now, this is where I say you on to something. You saw that face off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Canelo's not really bigger than Bud Crawford.
Bud
is coming up. Now, this is where the adjustment is with the bigger man. Bud has never fought at 68. And even when we seen him at 54, it's an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? And I said something in the chat earlier, like about Ryan Garcia specifically. I think that the Rolly Romero fight, why Ryan struggled so much was under the lights, he had never took a punch at 47. It's different. He sparred Rolly, but they weren't at 47. And even Rolly getting the better of that anyway. But I think when I watched the fight and I've watched it back, when Rolly catches him, boom, he psychologically Ryan goes. Yeah, psychologically Ryan goes, oh, that's what them punches that's what Rolly punches gonna feel like at 47. I want no parts in that, bro. I'm cool.
Facts.
I'm good.
Okay, no, I got that.
So it's like this. Psychologically, Bud got a strong psyche.
Yes.
And he got a strong will to win.
Yes.
So outside of him getting knocked out, I can't see Bud getting popped because he's gonna get popped. Like it's a 12-round fight
with that left though.
Canelo
Okay,
is
now I get that. Now I get that. I get that.
Canelo's gonna hit him with something hard, but I don't see Bud fading and getting gun shy and the last part is this. Bud just sat there ringside and watched
Skull
run around the ring. You know what I'm saying? Now this is the thing. Skull came there with a game plan and the mentality of I'm not letting you knock me out. Bud don't have that mentality. But if Skull would have been willing with the game plan that he was working to engage, to truly commit to some punches, to mix it up, because sometimes even as the mover, you'll sit, you'll settle, and then you get going, and then you'll sit and you'll fight with him for a minute, boom, and you'll go to him, and then you'll pivot off, and so there's like, I think what Bud saw was like, ooh, if Canelo come in here complacent like that, and even why he took the fight,
right?
I think that when he saw Charlo, when he saw Munguia, when he saw Berlanga, and when he saw he started seeing that Canelo ain't finishing his food. Yep.
No, that's right.
Canelo ain't finishing his food.
All right, before let me hit some of these comments real quick. He said Canelo for sure bigger than Bud. Crawford rocking around at Canelo fight weight, but not rehydrating to no 189. I agree. He said Puzo said Bud out to make a statement for timeless respect. I agree. He wants to win better faster than Usyk versus Fury. I agree. He says Ryo and Ryan a true 50-50. Ooh, that's a good fight. That's a good fight. That's a good fight. I gotta think about that, Oscar. But I also want to respond to Joker. Joker said something interesting as well. I didn't catch the full conversation, so I'm not. I'm just responding to this. I'm not responding to anybody else or what was said by Oster or McCaw. I'm just responding. Joker says Usyk beat Fury. Save the size talk. It comes down to skill and adjustments in this one, in particular, timing and distance and control. I agree. That's a good example, but I did catch the last part of what McCaw said, and you got to understand too. Yeah, we could say Fury or Usyk. Right, Usyk was a smaller guy, but we're speaking in generalities now. You're speaking in specifics, right? I can tell you when Roy, not even just heavyweight, but just specifically, right? Because Roy Jones did it too. Roy Jones was a smaller guy and went up and fought John Ruiz, but how often does that happen? So even if Terrence Crawford does beat Canelo, regardless of the size, it's not something that you can just disregard. You know, let's look at Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, right? Deontay Wilder, that pressure on his legs from the costume, and then the pressure on his legs from Tyson Fury leaning on him, got to him. You know what I'm saying? His game is predicated off athleticism.
But I'm saying is that
so you got to understand that. Hold on. So you got to understand that, like when with weight, when someone's bigger on you and they lean on you, or like even if Dmitry Bivol, right? Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev, when he was playing the in and out game, right? And with Beterbiev in the first fight, he was like, man, the second fight I'm gonna come back and I feel like I gotta stand in the pain a little more because I can take some of his punches even more, even if it is gonna hurt, but I can still take it a little more too. So sometimes you have to be willing to take that pressure, and if you are willing, like Bivol was, it worked out for him. But what if Terrence Crawford decides that he's willing to do that and it doesn't work out for him, or it might work out for him too? You know what I'm saying? But you just got to factor out. You got to factor in the size, and the size, even with skills, it's still more often that the bigger guy is usually has advantage, bro. It just is what it is.
All right, that's cool.
Eventually, but
what I'm saying is this. That's all I'm saying is that. All I'm saying is this. I get everything, because no matter how much we explaining it, we still disguising it behind the power at the end of the day. No matter what we say, we can give every other excuse, but we still, at the end of the day, we still saying he got too much power, so skills is not going to matter. That's essentially what we're saying. No, hear me out. No, I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying, hear me out.
Who said that?
Hear me out. I'm just saying. No. Listen, because I'm saying when we explain it, hear me out. Hear me out. I said when we explain it, y'all said after 4 rounds, this will play a part. It could not. So we back to the power. We back to the size at the end of the conversation. So what I'm saying is this. Now, I get all that. That's why I don't try to put all that in it. I just put their skills in there, because I don't know. Like you hear people. Some people say you got straight power, and some people say accuracy make power. Where he places punches, it can replace a little power that you don't really have if you place them right in the accuracy. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. You get next. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying they both in it. They both in there, and they both good. They both in there. See, when they get to that, remember I told you before, Doc, some fights I don't call. When they get there, I have my favorite fighter, but I just can't say he's going to beat Canelo up.
Right.
Because Canelo is just as good as him. I got to see it when they get in there, because they both smart. We've seen both of them adapt.
Right.
Both of them adapt. Now, the last fight, you're only good as your last fight, but some people's a little exception. It's Canelo, so he get a little extra. So I'm not gonna go by William Skull. His fight with William Skull. If you ask me, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I say he was preserving himself for Crawford. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He didn't want to do too much. He just did enough to win for Crawford. I'm not gonna take nothing from him. Because I seen him cut the ring off. I seen him do all that. He might have just did something at that time to do it. I don't know which one of these two guys is coming out with a game plan.
Yeah, he might.
Crawford
He might be incapable of doing it too. You never. I mean, hey, time is something.
He want to punch, and he might want to just box him.
But the thing about that is that like you said, I agree that you shouldn't judge everybody. Like I think you said it earlier, Oster. Like they're not in their primes anymore. So you're right. So there's a possibility that he may not be able to capable. I see it as him not really putting forth the effort. But sometimes if you don't, I think Mikhail said this too, and I agree with this. It's like it goes back to that old saying, man. It's like people think that when you don't do something, you stay the same. No, bitch, you get worse. You either get better or you get worse. You don't stay the same in nothing. You know what I'm saying? I have my PhD in engineering. I haven't been doing engineering on a daily basis, so I got worse. I may not got significantly worse to where I'm incapable of getting back to where I was, but right now, today, there's no way I'm as good of an engineer as I was when I was working actively as it, because I'm not doing those principles. Repetition is key, practice is key. So I think that with what Terrence Crawford is, I will say this, I don't think there's anything wrong with considering his performance against School, because it was bad. That is his most recent. But I would like people to just consider that. Remember, people were complaining about Terrence Crawford's performance against Israel Madrimov. So I would even venture to say that if you flip them, Canelo and School was last year, and then Terrence Crawford and Israel Madrimov was a couple weeks ago. I think I don't think you'll see as many people flip-flopping as you do now. I don't mind you picking, like I said, Bud is phenomenal. Bud could win. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. I'm just going with Cinnamon. But if Cinnamon lose, I don't think it's like, Cinnamon 90% chance to win. No, I think it's like I would say like a 60-40 in favor of Cinnamon. But I'm going with Cinnamon, you know what I'm saying? But go ahead, Ty.
To bring it back to the size example, it's a reason why they say like a good big man beats a great smaller man.
Yes.
It's more than just punching power.
Yes.
It's that resistance. It's other things. But the main factor is what's the level of skill difference.
I don't think it's
the examples we seen a smaller man beat a bigger guy. He was levels above that guy.
Facts. As far as skills go, right? That's what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
When that dude
Roy
is
Jones and John Ruiz.
My bad. Skill, you end up losing.
Right. You're right.
So how many levels is Bud above Canelo at this current moment? Right. We don't know.
We don't know. And I don't think it's that big of a gap. Like I've always said, we talked about this plenty of times, Ty. Correct me if I'm wrong. I've said repeatedly, I think that I would even go with Terrence Crawford being slightly more skilled. But I think that weight disparity and that experience at higher weight classes, I think that's a larger gap. And I don't know if that smaller skill gap in favor of Bud is enough to compensate for the larger skill gap, the larger size gap, even experience and where they've been. You got like Canelo's been light heavyweight. I know we talk about sparring, but yeah, wasn't there, and correct me if I'm wrong again, Tyre and Mercado or anybody, and y'all watch boxing, Isaiah, Oster, Clone, there was videos of Mikey Garcia stopping heavyweights. He ain't stopped Errol Spence, did he? You know what I'm saying? So like we talk about these guys. So yeah, right. Thank you. So we talk about these guys and sparring heavyweights. Yeah, that sounds good, but it's different when you in there with a guy that's also great and he happens to be bigger. You don't think Canelo has times where he stopped heavyweights? He ain't stopped Bivol. So I think we got to consider the full spectrum, because you could go back and go look at it. I'm sure the video's still there where Mikey Garcia stopped at some big heavyweight. It is what it is. He won Mike Tyson. He won Lennox Lewis. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Is this safe to say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not just talking about if you're just talking about things. Say Mayweather. Because I'm only really concerned with the two people that actually beat Canelo. That's on my good side. Okay. That's on my good side. Now my downside with Crawford and Canelo, if it was go wrong, I can see it going like a Caleb Plant fight. Probably around the same time. That's how I can see it. If it was to go down for Crawford, like I said, Crawford 11.5, it's a flip thing, but I would see the actual fight going just like a Caleb Plant fight. Maybe a little skillful, a little, whatever it is, but I can see when you talk about the pressure, it could be wear down. I can see that. I'm definitely if I can't see that, then I'm an idiot. So I won't, if I was training them, I won't train them really good, not for that, what I see. That's what people train you for. If they see something in their head, they're going to train you not for that shit don't come to a, to fruition. You know what I mean? You got a
right.
knockout kid, you train them not to get knocked out.
Yep.
How to not get knocked out by the dude. You be an idiot training them to get knocked out. So I can see that though. Yeah, that's crazy. You know what I mean? I can see that if on the downside on my side that I don't want to see, I can see the fight turning out like a Caleb Plant and
Canelo. I can see that too. That's a good point. I will say this too, Oster, which I know you know, but like I'm not saying you wrong. I mean, I'm saying you wrong because I think that Canelo gonna win, but I'm not saying like you wrong, like, oh, you stupid for picking, you know what I'm saying? Like he ain't got no chance. Nah, I just disagree. But I can't say you wrong because I do think that is a big. That's why I think the fight's good.
That's cool,
you know what I'm saying? It ain't like right. And then some of these people will say like,
on there.
Right. And some of these people will be like, oh, Canelo, Bud ain't got no chance. You stupid. No, you're not stupid for picking Bud. And no, you're not stupid for picking Canelo. Now it might end up that way, right? If you pick Errol Spence to beat Terrence Crawford going into, you're not stupid, but it end up looking like you stupid, right? And I'm one of those that look stupid because Errol Spence got the hell beat out of him, you know. But
I told you so.
I told you so. Exactly. But sometimes we have to realize, even with the Fatal Fury, right? It's like we could talk in hindsight that the card was bad, but nobody thought the card was gonna be that bad. Nobody on earth thought that it was gonna be that bad.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody did. They should have played the lotto, but so it's like hindsight's 2020, bro. Like Terrence Crawford could go beat the hell out of Canelo. I would still pick Canelo because I don't know until I see it. You know what I'm saying? Canelo will pick could beat the hell out of Terrence Crawford. I'm sure you'll still pick Bud because we don't know until we see it. So there's like, I don't know. Sometimes we focus too much on being right. It's not about being right and wrong. It's just about us expressing how we feel about it from the best way possible. You know what I'm saying? Best way we can. So I don't think you're wrong, you know. But
that's why sometimes I be saying like, man, I can't tell this one, Doc. Man, I don't even want to call this one, man. I'm gonna wait till I get in the ring.
I'm sitting with it right now.
Yeah.
Like after talking to the alleged sparring partners for both guys, whether it be Timberlands or the Guatemalan kid, they made me go back and review the tape, and I'm sitting here like, all right. The one thing I came away from of that is what is Bud going to have to sacrifice to move up to 68?
Right.
Because that's the unknown for him. But we seen what Canelo lost when he moved to 68 and tried to go to 75. He lost that mobility. He lost that head movement.
Yep.
When you pack on that pounds and you don't have the adequate frame to carry it, you sacrificing something.
And can those sacrifices be exploited? Can those vulnerabilities be exposed? I think Terrence Crawford's a guy to do it, you know, but I just don't think he's going to do it. But I think he is a guy like him.
But you know what?
Go ahead.
Ty just made a good point. What are you gonna sacrifice to go up? And he just made a great point, and I don't think a lot of people caught that.
Just don't say his kids or something like that.
No.
Okay.
I'm saying like
I know where he was going. Isaiah be trolling, you know.
But no.
Let Isaiah finish real quick.
You know what? Ty made an amazing point because a lot of people fail to realize what do you sacrifice going up. One, Canelo is a declarated 168 pounder who has the experience at the weight class.
Facts.
Terrence doesn't have that experience. So yes, he might be 186 bulked up, but I mean he's still gonna have to drop down, and I guarantee you he's probably gonna weigh in at maybe 165, 163.
Yeah, I'm thinking 160.
I guarantee you 165 to 160, maybe 162.
Yeah.
The only one, like we gotta really factor that in, and I'm glad Ty brought that up. Because that was a great point. A lot of people say, "Oh, this guy's daring to be great," but what they forget to say is, "What is he sacrificing while he's moving up?"
Okay, now that's a point. That's a good point. We just explained with Doc about the training. So he say what he sacrificed. Well, I don't know, but if you would ask me, I would say he sacrificed a fight. He didn't fight until then. I think he sacrificed that to be acclimated with this weight. Whatever way they got going or whatever plan they got to get to 68, I think that's
that plan.
Now,
that's crazy. No, don't keep going, bro. Don't listen to him, bro.
No. I'm not saying this is the plan. I'm saying because he's not fighting.
He said they got a snack
knows.
play. He said they got snack play. He was joking. He was trolling.
He got a snack plan. But now Canelo might have took the fight because he wanted to stay active. That's why he probably took that fight. He wanted to stay active before then. Everybody talk about prep fights, but it don't apply for certain people. That's why I say word lingo it changes up a lot. You know what I mean? So now when it comes down to Crawford, when they talk about the weight and you know what he walking around with and the experience. So let me ask you a question. If you was to go up in weight, right? So obviously what you would kind of lose maybe is your movement. You know, if you was a light foot mover, you probably ain't that light. You know what I mean? But do you lose your mental and your IQ for the fight? Do you lose that? Because that's more important going up to keep that fortitude, because that's going to help the slackness of your slow movement because you're coming up in weight. And I think this is why you sit there and you wait it out the way he's waiting it out. It never been done before, so I'm just speculating. You get what I'm saying? It wasn't like we seen it a couple of times, so we're just speculating at this point.
Facts.
And I'm just saying that the top of my thing, I can say to make the most common sense. I know he's not partying, chilling like he got to fight. You know what I mean? I know that for sure. Now we know
In
that.
boxing, it's two people you can't ever beat: the laws of physics and Father Time.
Yeah.
You spoke on Bud's mental. Yeah, you could be mentally intact. You could have all the heart in the world, but if your body not responding correctly, you getting put out.
And here's what he'll be
Yeah,
38,
just
right?
lose.
He'll be 38 by the time the fight come around, right?
But that's in any,
And
that's in any weight class,
no heart.
in any fight. That's in any weight class in any fight, not just because
Yeah, but look what happened to Conor Ben. He moved up, and everyone thought he was gonna beat Eubank, who's been at the weight class for so long, and he did put a beating on him. He did, but he just didn't have enough.
That got nothing to do with Bud and Canelo. Every fighter is different. Every fighter is different.
I see the point you making. But wait, relate Bud to Ben now. What are we doing? But I see what you're saying. No, I see what you're saying.
He making it.
No, I know what you're saying, but I know what you're saying. There's no, we all men here. I know what you're saying and all that, but I just don't want to lose. See, that's what happened. You start to, I do it sometimes, most of the time. You know what I mean? I got to catch myself. You're trying to make points, and you bring other fighters when we always say every fight is different. We always say that every fighter, we don't play that triangle effect. If he fought him and then he fought him, that don't mean nothing. It really don't mean nothing. Not inside the ring. Outside the ring for talk, yeah, it could mean some comparing and all that, you know, for the channel to get the donations and all that. All that means something for that, but in the ring, it really don't mean nothing.
I think it's situational. I think it does mean something. I get what you're saying too, because it is based on the individual, and it's an individual sport. Hell, it's not a team sport. You know what I'm saying? It's an individual sport, so it does matter on the X factors, like your heart, like you're saying, even your experiences. You know what I'm saying? But boy got shot, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, boy was about a shot. You know, but I do think that situational things are worth noting. I'm not saying to put the bank on it, Oster. So I agree with that part, but I do think that situational, you know, situational similarities are worth noting. For gameplay.
For gameplay to get in the ring. For gameplay to get in the ring. But you can't bring what you fought. Okay, for instance, you should say like Ryan and Rolly. So if that was the case, we can just say Rolly could beat Dev because he beat Ryan.
Well, I see what you're saying with the triangle, but I'm talking about like when we talk about, like, for example, like Isaiah just brought up Conor and Chris Eubank. Correct me if I'm wrong, Isaiah. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I didn't see it as him saying, like, I was kind of trolling when I said don't compare Bud to Ben. I didn't see him as comparing the individuals, but more so just a situation about a guy moving up.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about too. Yeah,
right. So I do think that's fair because I do think at the end of the day, they are going through a similar experience as far as adaptation to a new weight class, and a weight class you've never been, uncharted territory. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. So I do think it's comparable in that regard. But
at the end of that, it comes down. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Say it again, Isaiah.
Conor ain't no Bud, but
that's what I'm saying.
Hold on, since Bud is on that snack, allegedly he might be. I don't know. Allegedly.
Go ahead, Ty. Hey, listen to this, man. Talk about my boy on snack now.
Allegedly, Doc. Allegedly.
Come on, bro.
Physics of the situation don't change.
Right.
Like,
physics, right?
I'm not gonna get too caught up into the names because we're not talking about the style. We're talking about the physics of that situation. This guy moving up, making certain concessions to fight this guy.
I'm not gonna lie, Tom, man. Interrupt real quick. And you go ahead. That was a great point, though. I'm not gonna lie. I love how you just double back too with the physics and Father Time you said, and now you back to fit. That was great. Go ahead. My bad. I just want to applaud you for that. That was dope. That was a great one.
That's what makes it a feat. And that's the reason why people say he's daring to be great. He ain't moving up to go fight no damn scrub or the Williams School of the division. He's going to fight the guy.
Yes.
So the main question should be, how many levels is Bud over Canelo skill-wise?
Yes.
Because that's the thing that matters the most.
Yes.
If they're comparable in skill, he has a problem.
A big problem.
I'll be honest.
He ain't gonna have a sleeping problem though. He can put that NyQuil up.
But you know, like hey Ty, that's 100%, and that's why I say with the we talking about it, and we could talk, such, but it's going to ultimately come down when they get in the ring. I could say Bud is more skillful. I could say more IQ. You could say Canelo is. We can pick fights to show improve what we talking about. We can pick each fight and say, look, we can do all that, but we're not gonna know when these two great minds get in the ring. It's like playing chess. It's like watching two of the best chess players. They both good. You don't know. It's one little slight move. And it's not going to mean that the other one is not, he's better than him. Right. This is one of those fights. If the first one make the wrong move, because they both killers, it could stop right there.
Yep.
And to be honest with you,
go ahead.
I think that they're going to want a rematch. I think it's going to be so good, they're going to want a rematch, if you ask me.
Hey, that money going to be so good. They definitely going to.
Yeah,
Isaiah, what's chess in Spanish, Isaiah, if you know? Aldreas, right? Aldreas?
Yeah, it is.
Come on, man. Working on my Spanish, man. Stop playing with me, man. But hey, fellas, I'm gonna go ahead and call it, man. I gotta get some food, man. I'm hungry, bro. I'm gonna pull Irony up in here, so we can chop it up with y'all, man. I'm gonna go ahead and slide. Hey, shout out to Ty, Irony, Isaiah, Mikhail, Oster. I appreciate y'all and y'all input, man, as always, man. So hopefully I'll catch y'all on the late show, man.
Yes, easy. Sir. We got my boy Doc about to go eat a snack.
Okay. I'm out, bro. Oh shoot, Oster. Hey, Oster, you would say something? My fault, bro. I think I heard you.
We can't get a closing from the doc.
Nah, bro, I ain't getting no closing, man. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I thought Ty, my food. I just ordered my food. It's getting cold, man. Y'all be having me closing for hours, man.
he said the snack been here. I'm gone.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. All jokes aside, though, that man said the snack, bro. That's crazy. Ty. That was a good one, man. I ain't gonna lie. That point with Ty, whether you agree or not, that gosh dang physics and
Ty is a philosopher, bro.
You see him. You know what I'm saying? Mikhail got some good points. Irony, Isaiah, Oster. I like to say I got some pretty good points, but I'm about to give me some food, man. Y'all be easy. Catch y'all on the late show though, man.
Yes, sir.
Peace out.
Yes, sir. Good Lord. Hey, chat, man. I'm about to go ahead and call it, man. Y'all be easy. Shout out to the fine panel that I had today, man. Clone was in there as well, man. Shout out to my boy Clone. You ain't even say nothing. You lost connection. Oh, okay. That's good. You probably gonna talk some nonsense anyway, talking about Scott Nicholson and stuff, trying to get that butt tightened up. He said another question that will have to be answered is, will Bud be skilled carrying the extra? That's exactly, Reb. Exactly. His footwork is part of his skills, right? That's what Isaiah was saying. What you gonna sacrifice, right? Because his footwork is important. You know, it's one thing to move at 140 and 147 and move like that at 168. You feel me? So it's different, man. So and same with Canelo. Like, I do think it's important that he did not show the fervor or intensity or even the desire to want to cut off the ring against William Skull. What if Terrence Crawford gonna make you after trailing like that? Of course, we don't expect Terrence Crawford to be as fleet of foot as William Skull, but he got a little bit of movement now, so he might not be able to. He might not be easily located. You know, like I said, I got Cinnamon, but I want to be very clear. Like, when I speak on Cinnamon's behalf, because I think he's gonna win. I don't speak on his behalf because I think it's going to be easy or it's for sure. No, like, I like boxing too much, bro. I've seen too many upsets. I like seeing upsets. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a Tank fan. I wanted him to beat Lamont Roach, but I wasn't like gonna cry because Tank. Nah, bro. If Lamont Roach comes and shows that he got it, then let him win. He's supposed to win. You know, let the best man win. So, you know, I liked when Skull. I didn't like after the 5th round, 6th round, Skull he started throwing less punches and doing more movement. But I like the fact that he was giving Canelo trouble, because I like to see the fighters that I like adapt. Like when Trevor McCumbee was fighting Caleb Plant, I was on the edge of my seat because Caleb Plant is one of my favorite fighters. But at the same time, I like that he was tossing him around the ring. You know what I'm saying? He tossed everything but his salad. Pause.
No, did he?
That boy was tossing everything except the salad. Boy, I was tossing Caleb Plant. But I like the fact that Caleb Plant showed me who he was, and he pushed through adversity, and he showed some adaptation, real-time adaptation, bro. If Trevor McCumbee was a bigger profile fighter, I think Caleb Plant would have got performance of the year. That's how great that was. It's just that Trevor McCumbie's not really known like that. You know what I'm saying? So I like when fighters get pushed through adversity, and that's why I like him. You know, when Tank was getting in trouble with Frank Martin for a little bit of time at first, I thought that was good. You know, and same with Mario Barrios. You know, so like I like when I see my fighters, the fighters that I like adapt. That's why I like them. You see what I'm saying? So it is what it is, man. I don't want to see just a guy just run through everybody. Then what is he proving? You know what I mean? I want to see go through adversity. You know, so I think that they will both pose some difficult situations, and some questions that need to be answered coming from Bud and coming from Canelo. That's why I think this fight is good, but I do think that Canelo's going to win. That's just my personal opinion. I could be wrong. We'll see. But yeah, man, y'all be easy. Take care of yourselves, man. Shout out to the love in the super chat, man. We got some love today. We got some love from Clone for the $5, Big Dog Willie for the $5, and Big Dog Willie for the $2, man. I appreciate y'all rocking. Shout out to the panel once again. I'm gonna catch y'all on the late show. I know I've been slowing down with the videos, chat, but I just really haven't found anything that's worth making a video on. It's not that I don't want to. It's just it's been kind of slow with the movement, and I don't really like talking about the same stuff over and over again. We could do that for a live show, but for the videos, I like to talk about interesting things, and there hasn't really been too many new interesting things for me, but I got to work harder too, you know what I'm saying? So y'all be easy, take care of yourselves. Don't forget to smack that like button, but most importantly, remember, with God, we can do anything. Without God, we're nothing. The doctor's out. Peace. Consider becoming a member if you haven't done so already, so you can get access, because they still chopping it up right now off the stream. We got Ty back there, we got Isaiah back there, we got Oster back there, we got Mikhail back there. They still chopping it up after the stream. That's a perk of having being a YouTube member. $3 a month, man. Get you some. Y'all be easy. God bless. From the hood to college, both worlds they had to meet. 6 degrees between us, so cold we're about to freeze. But we're Florida boys, hot takes, we bring the heat. We're moving the culture, the engineers to the streets.